we dominate sports. We don't dominate sports. We don't. It's all about ownership. It's all about building. It's all about working together. It's all about creating things together. Putting aside our ego and looking at the things and not always chasing after the flashy stuff. Because too many of us as black men, we are going after flashy stuff. If it's not flashy, if there's no woman associated to it, we don't give a fuck. Right? If there's no foreign woman associated to it, we don't care. If there's no sex, or if sex is not directly connected to it, we don't care. That's not what matters. We as black men, we need to start taking accountability for our own resources and regions. And we also need to stop blaming the West. The West can only do things to you if black men allow it. This is the truth. This is the honest truth. A lot of African people like to blame the West, the West, the West. Yeah, let me tell you something. The West could do what they do in Africa because certain African people allow it. The West would never be able to do anything if other Africans did not allow it. That is just what it is. And this is something that I feel like we need to hold ourselves accountable for. Right? Thanks for 1,000 likes, guys. Let's try and get to like 5K likes, please. Right? This is something that we don't talk about. It's always somebody else's fault. What do you expect? The West priority in Africa, the West priority in Caribbean is to put the West interest above yours. They are not there for your own good. It is the job of black men to defend their interest and to make sure their people also get things out of it. The fact that we, in our respective countries across the world, we are a permanent underclass is because black men do not value power. Because as a black man, you cannot come online and say, I am the leader of my household. I'm the king. I'm the leader. I'm the leader. Lead us. We need to start judging ourselves based on our ability to create wealth, protect wealth, and be able to put our interest above. Across the world, black people are an underclass. Even in Africa, black Africans in Africa are an underclass in Africa. And black men, African men, are running those countries. That is because most African men, most black men are not looking for the greater good of everybody else. They are looking for their interest and they want to be the only. And that is what I'm talking about. Black men only value sex and foreign women. Because the truth of the matter is this. If black men did not value sex and foreign women, we would be seeing other... The thing is this. See, one thing that I have learned about observing people, because I observe people a lot, is that you will see the result of what the collective values from the kind of things they do. It's inevitable. Things you focus, things you've prioritized, at some point, after an extended period of time, people are going to start seeing the results because you focused on it. Right? If you are into fitness a lot, if you like to work out, if you put a lot of priority on working out on fitness, at some point, people are going to say that, okay, this guy looks like he puts a lot of effort into his body. And right? This is reflected in your body looking good. This is the truth. Black men value sex because that's why you see a lot of kids. A lot of black men, we value access to women more than we do political power. Black men value access to multiple women. Black men value access to multiple women over taking back their countries. And black women play a role in this because a lot of black women give black men a lot of excuses. I had a black American woman the other day telling me about, oh, but you have to understand. I'm like, okay, well, good on you. Good. We are a permanent underclass. Even in African countries, in black African countries, black people are being dominated by a select few. That is fucked up. And you know why that is? Because other black men that are in power allow it. That's it. That is all it is. There are a lot of black men that are too whitewashed. I think it's, you see, one thing, to your point, Majin Buu, if you look at the way Indian men operate, Indian men compared to black men have reached higher positions than most black men have, right? But what do Indian men always do? If you look at people like Vivek Ramaswamy in America, if you look at the former Prime Minister of United Kingdom, I always forget his name, the Indian guy, the most recent Prime Minister of the Indian guy. What's his name? Can somebody remind me of his name? What do most of those guys do? Even the guy from Microsoft, right? The guy from Microsoft and all the big shot Indian tech bros, what do? They still hold on to their cultures and they marry their women. Most of these Indian men, the Arab men, even the guy in New York, Mamdani, Zoran Mamdani, he's at a very high level. Look at his wife. Look at their women. Their women come from their culture. Their women come from their background. Because that is how you keep power. Exactly, Majin Buu. That is the key. You cannot become a powerful group if you separate yourself from your community. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work. And a lot of black men want to do this. And I think we're not talking about this enough. It can never work. Because no matter how much as a black man, you try to distance yourself from your community, you will always be fucked up. Always. That is what you think Vivek Ramaswamy, Zoran Mamdani. Somebody remind me of that guy, the guy, former Prime Minister of United Kingdom. Let me see. Former PM, UK. I always forget his name, man. The Indian guy. Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak, thank you. Thank you so much. Rishi Sunak. They all stay with their community, bro. Because they understand that, yes, even if you rise to a powerful position, your community, that is how your community gets power. That is how your community gets political power. That's how you get economic power. You get economic power as a community by doing business with one another, by working together, by engaging with one another. It doesn't mean you don't talk to other people. You do. Absolutely, you do. You really want to tell me someone like Rishi Sunak and Mamdani were not banging other women before they got married? Sundar Pichai, exactly. Are you telling me Zora Mamdani wasn't out here banging whites and Indian, all sorts of women? But when it was time to get married, it was his woman he picked because he understands how power works. That is how power works. And there's nothing wrong with being Republican. But I've noticed that anytime black people become Republican, they always become fucking raccoons, man. I don't understand. Exactly, Manjin. It's like, have you guys noticed that? Anytime, like in America, for example, majority of the black conservatives, they always start talking down on their community. It's insane to me. It is insane to me. Like, why is it part of the expectation? Like, why must you talk down on your community? God damn. Why must they always talk down on their community? That's the part I don't get. That's the part I don't understand. It's okay to be Republican. It's okay to be Democrat. I don't care. I don't even care for political parties. But why must you always start talking down on your community? Like the Candace Owens, right? There's another guy, Jeff Mead. Jeff Steed, Jeff Mead. Go on YouTube. You see their YouTube channels. It's like they've built a platform strictly to allow other communities to ridicule their community. And those guys, those people from the other communities that you're allowing to ridicule the black community in America, for example, you think those guys are your friends? They are not your friends. They are just not your friends. You are playing a specific role. And as soon as a black person, as a black man, as soon as you step out of line, those communities are going to remind you who the fuck you are. It never fails. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Black men don't value nation building. We don't. Because if we did, we would have at least 5 countries built by black men today. But we don't, because we don't value it. The thing with black men, because again, this is coming from observation, and I think as black men, we need to step away from this colonization talk. We genuinely have to stop it. Really. We genuinely have to move away from this. Oh, it's slavery. Oh, it's colonization. Yeah, bro, it's 2025, man. God damn. We don't build. Black men don't build. Black men don't know how to build countries. We don't. Am I wrong? Am I lying? I mean, we have a situation now with the failed coup in was it in Togo? Was it Togo? I think Togo or Benin. You understand? President Benin, thank you. President Tinubu, he was happy to send military jets to go and bomb another African country on behalf of the white man, France. That is the black man for you. That is the black man for you. We need to look at black men for what we are. We are selfish. We don't care about the community. In fact, I have a theory. Slavery lasted as long as it did because black men were complicit. In my opinion, fight me. Colonization lasted as long as it did because black men were complicit. African men were complicit. And I'm proven right. Because if you cared about the health of your community, you'll be willing to die and die and die and die and die to the point that it becomes not feasible. That is what the Native Americans did. Why do you think the Native Americans were not? Why do you think it didn't work with the Native Americans? They would rather die than do that shit. When Kanye West made that statement, you guys lost your mind. He's not wrong. Kanye West wasn't wrong. Black men are the most complicit group of men in the world. We're the weakest. Black men are the weakest group of men in the world. We are. Because if we were not, we would not be as underclass as we are. And prove me wrong. Somebody need to come. If you disagree with me, please come online, come to the panel, and tell me how I'm wrong. And please don't tell me about some wishy-washy stuff. Tell me something tangible, how I am wrong. Black men as a collective only value sex and access to foreign women. We don't value working together. In fact, I saw a video from this Okolo guy. I actually like his video. He was talking about how he brought three groups of guys together. Black men in the UK. They had something called the Gen Z takeover. It was like an event. After 1 year, after they started making money, two of the black men that he was working with, they wanted to be the boss. And they didn't know how to run the company, but they didn't give a shit because they wanted the shine. Imagine how much money they would have been making if they were still working together. That is black men for you. Even where I am, like there are times I'm like, guys, let us come together. Let us do certain things. Don't give a fuck. And then as Africans, as black men, when we start complaining about us being dominated, it's your fault. In fact, I am sick and tired of black men acting like fucking cowards. It's always everybody's fault with black men. It's never our fault, right? It's the white man's fault. It's China's fault. Now the new thing is black women. If you're a black man and you're sitting online and you're blaming black women for your struggles, you are a fucking loser. That is the trendy thing to do. I see a lot of black American men doing this shit now. If you are a black man and you are sitting on TikTok and social media, a public platform, and you are demonizing your women, you are the reason why slavery lasted as long as it did, and you are the reason why Africa is an underclass the way it is, because you are opening the door for other groups to laugh and point at your women. It doesn't matter whether you agree with your women or not. You don't open the door. I'll be damned. That's step number one. I've seen black men actively demonizing his women and pedestalizing other men's women. How the hell does that work? There's a guy on YouTube, I'm not going to say his name. He calls black American women quiches as like a derogatory term. He calls them quiches. He's uplifting white women as a black man. Listen, date who you want to date. Marry who you want. I don't care. But I would be damned if I'm going to put other groups of women above black women. I'll be damned. I would be damned. Whether you date black women or not is irrelevant, but you should not build a platform where you are talking down on your women publicly. You think other groups of women don't have their own mess? You think Jewish women don't have their mess? You think white women don't have their mess? You think Arab women don't have their mess? Latino women don't have their mess? Show me 5 white men, show me 5 Asian men, Latino men that have built platforms where they speak down on their women so publicly. The only group of men that do that are black men. At least to do it enough where you're actually synonymous to this kind of BS. And I have a theory. I say, black men do this because it is easier for them than confronting the reality. It is easier for black men to punch down on their women, literally and metaphorically, than to look at other groups of men. Because as a man, what is my business trying to talk about what my women are doing? My business is looking at what other groups of men are doing and trying to dominate and win power. But the reason why, as black men in Europe, as black men in Africa, black men in America, the reason we are permanent underclass across all continents is because black men don't value group economics. We don't value working together. We don't value nation building. We don't value wealth building. We value fucking. We do. Because I even see the kind of women some of you black men are going after. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then when people say, oh, when you're fat, go date a black man, you guys get angry. Well, the case is the proof is in the pudding. You see, one thing about me, I put my emotions to the side and I look at what is. I look at what is. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Stereotypes just don't manifest out of the blue. And black men, we need to stop being eternal victims. The world is sick of us. And I'm kind of sick of us as well. It's always somebody else's fault. What have you done as a black man to improve your life? What have you done as a black man to improve the lot of your community? What have you done too? Because that is how that is how you actually become a powerful group. When was the last time you saw Indians protest? When was the last time you saw Asians protest? When was the last time you saw Jews protest? They don't protest because they have power. I mean, the trending topic right now is the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, Foundational Black Americans. Good. Most Africans don't care that you want to delineate, but you guys are not doing anything. All you do is sit on social media and attack black immigrants. What the fuck does that do for you? Why are you doing this? What does this do for you? And because for me, that is the only thing I care about. If it's not giving me economic power, if it's not giving me political power, if it's not giving me military power, I don't give a fuck about it. Because what does it do? You know what it does? It gives you ego boost. That is why you care. A lot of black men, if you can pump up our ego, that is all you gotta do. If you can pump up our ego, give us some used foreign yash, that is all we care about. I swear to God, we will sell out the entire country if that is what we're gonna get. And you might think I'm lying to you. Look at Africa. Hey Jacinda, what's up? Look at black African countries. I'm not lying. I am not lying. Every single country that is run by black men, every single fucking country that is run by black men is a shithole. Every single country that is a predominantly black population is a fucking shithole. The developed countries in Africa have white influence. This is the truth that a lot of us Africans don't want to confront. White men build better countries. Black men don't know how to build countries. And don't you dare come and talk about the empires from the past. I don't give a fuck. We are alive in 2025. Listen, like white men or not, you got to give them respect. By hook or crook, white men know how to build a country. Just give them their fucking flowers. By blood, by hook or crook, it doesn't matter. Because you could do the same thing they do and you still fuck it up. Give white men their flowers. They goddamn know how to build a country. Give Asian men their flowers. They know how to build a country. Give Arab men their flowers. They know how to build a country. At least. Give Latino men their flowers. Some of them know how to build a country. They know how to leverage. They know how to leverage network. They know how to leverage things to improve their countries. That is it. Everything I am saying, you can use your eye and see it. Every single country that is black men run, it's a fucking shithole. You have black leaders with expensive suits. Their country is in poverty. Traveling abroad around the world, begging for money. You have African men sitting in their countries, sitting on tons of oil. You have Nigerian men, Ghanaians, Cameroonians, Congolese, sitting on resources that power the entire world, and their countries are still fucking poor. How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Does that make sense, chat? Put a one in the chat if that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Esther, what's up? How's your syndrome? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. And this is the plight of black men. It doesn't make sense. But you know the ironic thing? You know the ironic thing? The ironic thing is that if you go to the comment section of these corrupt politicians, who, by the way, have TikTok pages. This is how fucked up black men are. This is how fucked up black men are, right? You will see black men, will see a corrupt politician who is responsible for their plight. They will be in the comment section of that corrupt politician hyping him up. And we are shocked where we are, and we are shocked that we are where we are. There are corrupt politicians who are legitimately the reason why certain countries in Africa are fucked up. They have TikTok pages, living their best life. Go and look at their comment section. It is full of black men, young and old, talking about boss man. You see, that's the difference between white men and Arab men. That guy would have been dead by now. You see, when I look, you see, one thing about me is I take my emotions away from a lot of things, and I can see why other groups are successful and why we're not. The reason white men are the most dominant group of men in the world is because white men, they are willing to kill. They are willing to kill for what they believe in. Black men don't. Black men would rather complain. It's the truth. White men are very organized and they don't shy away from violence. Some of the most brutal, violent acts, white guys, young and old, that is why they dominate. That is why they dominate black men. That is why you see skinny white guys owning a whole fucking country and big black men are going to be working for him. Sometimes I even ask myself, are black people meant to be slaves? Have you noticed that? Have you seen how, even like during colonization itself, you will see like skinny white guys with funny looking hats standing around, and then you see like big black guys, big ass chest, big muscles, just looking down. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? What the fuck? But we only have the energy for each other. Not to the people that way it matters. A black man would happily shoot another black man on the street. The corrupt politician that has not paid salary, he won't do anything. Because we are scared. We are fucking cowards. Because we are cowards. Black men are cowards. Black men as a collective are cowards. Prove me wrong. Black men as a collective are cowards. We will sell out our entire countries just to be the only one. We don't mind it. Every single country run by black men, yeah, I've been flagged for hate speech. TikTok, how is it hate speech? I'm a black man. Guys, I've been flagged for hate speech, man. God damn it. White, I'm a black guy. I'm holding my community. TikTok, everything I've said is true. How is it hate speech if it's true? But I get it. I'll tone down a little bit. I'll tone down. It's all good. Listen, I get it. TikTok is a public platform. They're trying to. But I'm just saying the truth. Guys, am I wrong? Am I lying? Everything I have said, it can be verified. Am I wrong? If you think I am lying about something, come online and come to the panel, and I guarantee you I'll let you talk. Just all I ask is give me facts. Because every single thing I've said, you can verify it. Wallahi. Black men as a collective are the weakest group of men in the world. Black men as a collective have the least power of men, which is why we get bashed by everybody, because there's no consequence. 4 black men in America got hung this year alone that we know of. Right? 4 black, I think another one happened recently in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say 5 black men have been hung. They call it strange-fruited in America. The FBAs, foundational black Americans that love to come to black immigrants that are online and talk about how we are coons and we are terrorists. What have they done about it? Absolutely nothing. Because they only have smoke for other black people. I was having a conversation with an FBA months ago. I don't really talk to them because a lot of them don't have the IQ. I used to try to reason with some of them, but they don't. That is why a lot of them sit on TikTok, because they know in real life you can't do anything. And I asked him, why are you so focused on black immigrants? Because if we look at the history of America, Africans are the least of your worries. So the fact that you're really focused on Africans is very interesting to me. Super interesting to me. Because if we look at the power hierarchy, because that's the way I operate. I look at what is. I don't care so much about, I don't care about some pseudo data. I look at what is. If we look at America today, there is what? Less than 5 million black Africans in America, and most black Africans are living in the big cities. Most black Americans are in the southern part of America. Most black Africans, you're going to find them in the big cities, New York, Boston, California. So you're going to find Dallas, Houston, Texas, big cities, right? Most black Americans, you're going to find them in the South. So like Alabama, Mississippi, I don't know much about America's topography, but you get what I mean, the southern part. So like, if we look at the past 100 years of America, what do black Africans got to do with this shit? What do black Caribbeans have to do with this shit? Nothing. But you're coming for us like we are the biggest thing. I'm like, no, what the fuck? You know? If you want to talk to me, come through. Let's talk. I'm not going to be here long. I have like maybe 1 hour more and then I'm out. I'm going to shout out people in the comment section. What's up, Sherry? They love to punch down. Yeah, absolutely. That's all it is. It's about punching down. But guys, I'm just saying, I feel like this is something we need to talk about more. We need to talk more about this. I don't think we are holding black men accountable enough. I truly don't think so. I genuinely don't think so. As black men, we're not holding each other. We don't even want to work together. As soon as some black men get money, the first thing you want to do is you want to distance yourself from your community. What? Who else does that? Who else does that? You're supposed to make money and improve your community. That is the fucking logic. Why are black people so weird, man? We do the opposite. I mean, I literally saw another lady say, "Oh, guys, we cannot fight fire for fire." I'm like, who told you that? Which other community says you cannot fight fire for fire? You are supposed to fight fire for fire. That's how people leave you alone. I swear to God, man, Africans, man. Oh, you cannot fight fire for fire. Okay. Why are the Jews so powerful? They have political power. They have economic power. How do the Jews have economic power? Because guess what? When they make money, they build their community. They make sure everybody in their community is solid. That is how they have economic power. How do Indians have economic power? Because they do group economics. They work together. They build together. They do business together. It doesn't mean you're not interacting with other communities. Of course you have to. You should. I encourage it. But when you make money, make sure you're bringing somebody also from your community to also learn, to also grow. That's how you fucking become strong, man. But as black men, we want to be the only one. Right? Lolo, exactly. Jews are 0.4% of the population, but they dominate not because they work together and they're strategic. I respect them. I respect the Jews. I don't know why people hate on the Jews, bro. I respect them. Fuck them. I respect the Jews. The Jews are winners. I respect winners. The whites are organized and they move together. I respect them. The Arabs do the same thing. The Latinos do the same thing. Guess which community doesn't do it? Have you noticed that? The communities that actually work together dominate the black community globally. Exactly, Claudia. In Africa, we have this perception of, I must be the only. We have a classism problem in Africa, whereby I want to be the only one and everybody else below me so that I can become the big boss. The whites work together. And if you think other communities are best friends with each other, you're wrong. Asians fight themselves all the time. White people fight themselves all the time. Latinos fight themselves all the time. Arabs fight themselves all the time. But they still work together. You don't have to be best of friends to work together. You can have your differences and still do business. And we as black men, we also need to common interest, Malik. Exactly. We also need to stop looking at the flashy shit as black men. We need to look at the gaps in the market, come together and stick with it for the next 10 years. End of story. Period. Forget the flashy shit. And when you make your money, try to see how can you use your money to strengthen your community. End of story. Because no matter how much you think other communities are your best of friends, you will never, I repeat, you will never, ever, ever be part of the club. Never. Never. So no matter how much you guys distance yourself from your community, and it's okay to do whatever you want to do, but when you start talking down on your community, bro, to me that's a line that is beyond recurse. I don't know what else to say to you guys. Because a lot of you make money and the next thing you do, you start talking down your community. You want to start integrating yourself with other people, which is okay. I think integration is great so that you learn from what other communities. I mean, most of the things I know about now, comes from me associating with other groups. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I learn from everybody. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any race. I don't. I have acquaintances, friends. I'm cordial with people from every part of this world. I refuse to be hateful. I'm strategic. Because for you to win in this world, in this game of power, you have to learn. You have to see what are the whites doing well? What works, what doesn't work? You know? What are the Arabs doing well? What works, what doesn't work? What are the Asians doing? Okay, this works, this doesn't work. What are the Jews doing? Okay, this works, this doesn't work. What are the Latinos doing? Oh, this works, this doesn't work. Okay, even within the black community. What is this black ethnic group doing well? What works, what doesn't work? Okay, cool. Bam. That's it. And you implement it. End of story. It's not rocket science. And I always say this to black people in the West, right? You have to pick one. Do you want to be a victim or do you want to be a winner? You cannot be both. You cannot be both. Because as black people, you cannot be the voice of oppression on Monday and talking about how you had the blueprint on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you're talking about slavery and how you're oppressed on Wednesday. on Thursday, and then on Friday you're talking about how you're the most copied. Pick a fucking struggle, bro. Which is it? And I also want black people in the West to move away from this social justice stuff. We have to move away from it. That is not for winners, bro. I'm sorry. See, I'm going to give you guys a secret about life. The best way to make things change is not by screaming. Are you guys with me? Are you guys with me? The best way to make change is not by hashtags. It's not by screaming. Can somebody tell me in the chat the best ways to actually make a change? What do you think, Amara? What do you think, Jihan, Vic, Malik? In your opinion, what do you think are the best ways a group can actually make a change, a permanent change? Action is okay. Junior, it's not exactly what I'm looking for, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Junior. It's more than that. It's action, but it's more specific than that. What are the best ways as a community? Look at the Jews, look at the Indians, look at the Asians, look at the Arabs, look at the other groups. What do they do that give them more power than we do? Going once, going twice, going thrice, going 4 times, 5 times. Put your money where your mouth is and stick together. Exactly. Stick together. Exactly. That's pretty collective action. Yeah. So put your money where your mouth is and stick together. Jihan is exactly correct. Build together. Jihan is perfectly correct. That is all it is. Because listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. And this is something the black community doesn't understand. You cannot be a loser and a winner at the same time. I'm sorry. Life does not operate on emotions. This is good. This might piss a lot of black social justice warriors off. Life does not operate on morals. You understand me? Life does not operate on morality. It doesn't. Life operates on power. Period. Power. You got that single word. Power. The world operates on power. Anything else? No, equity is the same as power. Just stick to power, guys. Power, Sherry. Whoever has the power runs the world. That is why you will see the white community, they will do anything to keep that power. I don't blame them. Because when you have the power, you can do whatever you want. And that is something the white community understands. And that is why I respect them. Because they know how to win. Life is all about how you win. Life is about winning. The white community understand how to play the game of power. And they understand that if you have economic power and you have military power, you people have no choice but to listen to you, whether they like you or not. And that is something black men don't understand. That is something black people don't seem to understand. We think protesting on TikTok and coming on TikTok and talking about, I was fired because I was black. They let go of 15 people in our office today, and they only let go of the black people. When? Feel sorry for me, world. I'm a black man, and I'm suffering. You fucking idiot. You buffoon. You loser. You weak, spineless coward. They let go of 50 people today, and it was only the black people that were affected. And I've put a lawsuit. Man, shut up. I know I sound harsh. Shut the fuck up, buddy. You don't run it. I'm sorry. This is how the world works. As long as you don't own it, you don't control it. This is how the world works. Switzerland is known for chocolate. Switzerland doesn't have any cocoa. That's pathetic. As a black man, it's pathetic. Belgium does not have any cocoa trees. They are known for chocolates. That is the failure of black men. It's not black women, it's black men. It's all on black men. It's all on African men. You're a fucking failure. You're a loser. Black men are losers. Other groups of men come into Africa and dominate everybody else. In Mauritania, the black population are 80%. The Arab population are 20%. Guess who dominates who in Mauritania, guys? The black population serves the 20%. I have a question. When racist people, quote unquote, say Africans cannot lead themselves, why do we get angry? Are they wrong? If you want to take down a black man, it's very easy. Put a foreign woman and give him some chicken change. He will sell out his entire country for you. Easy. It's very easy to take out most black men. Easy. In fact, the foreign woman doesn't even have to be attractive. Take one of the rejects from the dustbin in your community. Put some makeup on her face and give her eyeliner. He will sell out his entire country for you. He will sell out his country and he will invade his other country. He will invade his neighbors to give to you. As long as he gets to be in power, he doesn't care. That's all he cares about. But I have a question. Nobody has answered me yet. When Europeans and Asians say black Africans cannot lead themselves, why do we get angry? Because people seem to get angry. I want to understand that. Like, what are we angry about? Are they wrong? I don't, because that's something I've never understood. I've never understood that. Why are you angry when it's true? Every single country operated by black African men is a fucking shithole. I don't get. All the developed countries in Africa have white influence. South Africa is South Africa because of the white folks. Southern Africa is Southern Africa because of the white folks. That is the truth. I mean, this is the truth, bruv. You take away your emotions out of it. And as African men, we're always blaming the West. It's always the West. It's always... Bro, let me tell you guys something. The West can only touch Africa if African men allow it. You guys know that, right? There is always an insider that opens the nyash. That is it. That is it. So we need to stop giving the West too much credit, in my opinion. You think the West isn't trying to get into China? Do you understand that? You think the West, China is on the mind of America 24/7. You want to tell me America isn't trying everything to get in to take over China? Why have they not succeeded? Why have they not succeeded? Because the Chinese man is not going to allow that. Simple. Why would it never happen, Sherry? Because the Chinese man will not allow it. But African men are the easiest. The reason the West, China, Dubai, UAE can have Africa as their playground is because African men open it up to be exploited. Patrice Lumumba is dead today, not because of the West. Patrice Lumumba is dead because of Mobutu Sese Seko, another black man who betrayed him. When Mobutu took over Congo, he fucked it up. The West could have access to Patrice Lumumba because of another black man. Simple. Cut the bullshit out. Thomas Sankara is dead because of Blaise Compaoré. I don't know how to pronounce. That's it. The West can only touch you when your community opened the door. So no, it's not the West. It's the black man. The black man is the weakest. The black man is the easiest to convince. The black man is the most cowardly of all. He was betrayed by his own. If you want to take down a black man, you send another black man in there. He will do it for you for cheap. In fact, if you are non-black and you want to take out a black man, send a black man in there. He will say, "I'll do." If you offer him $50,000, he will say, "No, give me only 10,000. I'll do it for you. In fact, I'll do it and kill another one free of charge." It's the truth that a lot of Africans don't want to confront. We are our own biggest problem. We have presidents in Africa right now that are sitting in office for decades, straight decades, 2 decades, 4 decades. What are the African men going to do about it? Nothing. As long as he gets his own share, the African man don't give a fuck. So when I hear people talk about, oh, colonization happened. That's another thing you guys don't want to understand. Colonization was able to happen and lasted for as long as it did because certain African chiefs sold out their people for mirror. We are sellouts. When Black Americans have some hatred towards Africans, I don't blame them. Africans are the biggest sellouts. Look at history. For mirror, for rum, for gin, for guns, King Jaja of Okpobo or something like that. I don't remember. But the reason colonization was able to plant roots. Some African people fought. I'm not gonna lie. But they did not, it wasn't persistent because they fought. I want to make that very clear. Some Africans fought. They fought to the death. History as if colonization just happened and we are just, what is going on? No. And a key part of why Nigeria, for example, was so easy to colonize was the Northerners. The north of Nigeria. That is a conversation for another day. But I think somebody wants to come up. Guys, overall, am I lying? Tell me in the comment section if I'm lying. Am I lying? Every single thing I've said for the past 1 hour, am I lying? Am I saying something that is... Whoa. No, it's the truth. Everything I'm saying, you can check it. All the African leaders, they were killed because of other Black people, not because of the West. The West just exploited you because you were there, right? The West only exploited an open gap, and we need to understand what's really going on here. The West, their responsibility, right? Their responsibility is to put their interest above yours. End of story. End of story, right? So as Africans, we need to stop this fantasy that some other community are going to put our own interest above theirs. It would never happen. It's not supposed to happen. It's only Africans that do that shit. And that's how it works. Arabs are supposed to put Arab interests first. The West are supposed to put the West interests first. The East are supposed to put their interests first. It's only Africans. It's only African leaders that don't seem to put our own interests first. Listen, you have to share resources. It is what it is. It's life. You have to do business. But African leaders are supposed to also consider the African people when doing these negotiations. But they don't. They don't. That is why a lot of these guys, they will do anything to have military control so that they can keep the people in check. That is why you see Ibrahim Traore, he's not a perfect man. Ibrahim Traore, he has lasted as long as he has. He has survived over 30 assassination attempts because they can't get access to him because the Africans around him are protecting him. That is it. It's not rocket science. Africans are their own problem. The reason Ibrahim Traore is still alive today is because other Africans around him are protecting him. That's it. The West can only do things to you if they have access to you. If they don't have access to you, what are they going to do? Jihan, go ahead. After Jihan, we're going to go to Kigali, then we're going to go Omoya.
I followed you for a while, and obviously, like, your content and everything, and I feel like we've gone through it, like, a lot, like, these type of conversations, and, you know, I do really appreciate just you continuing to speak your mind and hold, you know, the community accountable just in general from everything we've talked about. And I feel like after, I don't know, since I I realized something. I feel like really the backbone of everything. I just feel like at this point, I feel like the Black community in general here in America, in Africa, I really feel like the key is really our men. The key is genuinely the Black men, African men, Black men here. I feel like that's where, if you can, and I said this in the comment, I said, if you want to take down a community, take down their men, and everything else will be fair game, right? So I feel like once Black men in general here in America and in Africa, if the world were to truly see their power, like if they were to stick together and build together and not fight each other and protect each other, I really feel like the world will literally fear us. Like, and I'm not obviously fear in a good way, but like literally like, whoa, like we can't do what we do to them like we used to. We can't oppress them. We can't do this. We can't do that, because I feel like, again, you can't, it's just like a bully, right? They'll continue to do it unless you're strong enough to stand up for yourself. Like, oh, wow, I didn't see that move. Oh, I didn't see you fighting back. So it's like they'll see, because us women, as strong as Black women are, and that strong Black women, I feel a certain type of way about that thing now. But as strong as we are, we can't do it. We can't fight men. We can't fight Black women can't fight white men. You know what I mean? Like, it's only Black men that could fight men. At this point, I feel like it's men versus men, truly, and the men are doing exactly what they want because they see that, oh, well, we can do this because their men are not doing anything. And I look at things obviously from us, and from my perspective too. I to take into account slavery, take into account, systematic racism that happens in the States and everything. I do take into account as that. I do think that affects everything, but it's still no excuse why the men are moving the way that they are. And I don't know, Omo, at the bottom, you were saying something like he's talking down on his own race. He is holding Black men accountable. I don't know what it is about when we will sit back and hold every other community accountable. The white man this, the West this, but when it's time to really sit down and talk about ourselves, talk about our community, then it's a problem. I don't understand. Why don't you guys like calling each other out and holding each other accountable? But we were strong enough to build for the other man and everything. The problem, and I'm not saying the problem for everything, but until they sit back and like, man, maybe it really does start with me. There's genuinely nothing we can't do, like the women can't do, like in general, until Black men themselves can sit back and face themselves, look themselves in the mirror and take accountability, right? Especially in the US, we can get so caught up in like social justice, leaving our families. Like it's showing at the end of the day, and the world sees it. The world sees how you guys are moving. How do you guys not take offense to being known for not taking care of your family, being known to leaving women single mom? It's up there, and I do, and I'll have to do some research.
No, I'm telling you. Now, who runs the media, right? But white men create the most. Someone says the sound problem. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Anyway, Gian, go on and land so that I can carry on, so I can move on to other people too. Okay.
Yeah, correct. And we're not talking about, again, we're not, and actually, I'll do my research. I do think you're right. However, I mean, again, we're talking about our community. Still, that is an issue, right? That's still an issue as far as single parenthood. At the end of the day, at least over 50% of kids are born in single parenthood in the U.S. At least over. So we're talking about our community right now. We're not differentiating who's creating the most single. At the end of the day, that's still an issue that needs to be solved in our community and in Africa too, right? So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it starts with showing up in the home and building that family structure, and then going from there. I don't think it starts from, like, talking is important, debating and everything is important, but I guess my question is like, what realistically can we do as a community to move forward? Because it's like at this point I'm just like over talking,
Right, Omo. Please keep it concise. I don't like to patrol what people are saying. Please have consideration for others. At least let people make their first points, please. Come.
Yeah. So I did join when you were echoing some stuff that kind of resonated with me. So I think I would start my talk from there. I don't really know if the topic is just basically what you put there or other things you said concerning how we behave as a community. I think Kingsley, I think there's a level of enlightenment you would have as a Black person that would make you want to question some of the things you actually said. And it's quite unfortunate that sometimes some I don't want to say we are not deep thinkers. That would be wrong because there are very, very great thinkers that are blacks, right? But you often hear when you tread this path, you start to like question things. People start to say you're feeling inferior. They start to make some kind of very funny sounds, right? It always flies over my head why, when it comes to geopolitics, we are always losers, deliberately saboteurs. Why? Why always us? I mean, amongst every race, why is it that it is always us that will easily sell out ours? Why? So at some point, you begin to ask yourself, is this something fundamentally wrong, or this is just how we are as a people? And that is why, when it comes to us as a community, I'm not in the business of bashing black women. It's not. I don't even. It doesn't actually come to my mind because there's a theory I've observed in every race, how the extent to which their women are valued is largely an attribute of how their men are placed. For example, if you bring the vanilla people, right? The vanilla woman is valued high because their men are valued high. Let me just call it vanilla. So the vanilla people, the vanilla women are valued that way because of how they're men. Unfortunately, our chocolate sisters, they are placed at that pedestal also because if you check the pecking order, our men, us, we rank least, right? So that is why I don't like to be involved in the business of bashing our women, because I think if we as men rise up to the status quo, definitely our chocolate sisters to rise up. So, but what I'm actually more interested in is this. Is a question to you actually, because it keeps boggling my mind. Could it be that there is something fundamentally wrong? Because I have looked at it from several angles, and it's a seeming as if that we are our own worst enemies, right? If you take the average politician that is vanilla and the average politician that is chocolate, the one that is chocolate is likely to sell his people for whatever reason. So, and if you take it back, some people will tell you probably during the whole slave trade thing, maybe we were our own undoing. So at some point, you tend to ask yourself,
we were our own undoing. That's something we don't like to acknowledge.
Exactly. So at some point, you tend to ask yourself, like I said, it takes someone that has a critical thinking and is really at least a bit enlightened to have this discourse, because a lot of people are easy to just shush it out that, hey, no, you are being inferior, and oh no, it's not about being inferior. If you've worked with these people, you know that they don't actually match some of your intellect, right?
Yeah.
But when you see some of us that are instant saboteurs, I mean, look at all the presidents in Africa, basically. They're not really there to do right by the African people.
First points, and then we can have an open panel, okay, bro? Just please listen.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you said you have a question for me. You want to ask your question, Omar?
I am thinking, could it be something fundamentally wrong, actually?
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Wrong. When you say fundamentally wrong, for example, what do you mean? Quickly. Because it's complicated than that. It's a mix of different things.
I know it's complicated, but when an occurrence is persistent amongst a group of people, scientifically you start to ask yourself, is it that there's something wrong? That is the angle I'm coming from.
I guess your observation might quite be right. Regarding my own submission, I don't think we have a fundamental problem. Okay, when the white man said that the average IQ of black people is very low, sometimes you have to doubt it. But sometimes I'm believing there's an iota of truth in it, because when you look at our leaders are a reflection of our IQ collectively. Look, if you have a good command of English, does not make you smart. You have a PhD, does not make you smart. If you look at what is happening in Africa presently, there is one particular country that is destabilizing the whole continent, which is the United Arab Emirates. If you look at their population, you will be like, how could a little UAE, you understand, be destabilizing your continent? Look at what is happening in Sudan, Northern Sudan. UAE is the one funding the RSF against indigenous black people over there. Look at what is happening. Look at this country, Rwanda and Congo, those silly countries. You understand? They wanted to have a peace deal, a peaceful resolution. They were going to Qatar for a peace deal. What is the population of Qatar? Qatar is less than Lagos State. Am I even saying Lagos State? Lagos State is over 30 million population. Qatar is just a little country that their population is less than 10 million. But look at a country like Congo that is over 100 million with Rwanda. They are going there for peace deal. Some months ago, the president of South Sudan wanted to accept a deal to resettle some Palestinians in his country, despite the fact that they went through hell in the hands of Arabs when South Sudan and Northern Sudan were one country. You understand? But these are the same people. This is the same man, you understand, that wanted to resettle some Palestinians in his country. It was Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, that proposed that deal to him. And he almost accepted it. Okay, so, and if you look at most of Black African countries, what peculiar to Ghana, peculiar to Congo, peculiar to Togo, peculiar to Benin Republic. So when you look at what is wrong with Black people, what is wrong with most of the Black African countries is peculiar to one another. Go to Ghana, go to Togo, go to Benin Republic, go to Congo. You understand? It's the problem of leadership, corruption, and poverty. Tell me one single Black country that their minimum wage is above $50. There's none. Nigerian minimum wage is around $30. Togo minimum wage is around $20. Congo minimum wage, the country,
Wait, hold on.
supposed.
Sorry, did you just say is $30 is $20? That's not true. It's even lower.
You see,
Wage is I think per day is like $2.
I want everybody to speak so that we can have a
American minimum wage.
When I said
$7.
when I said minimum wage, that means in Nigeria, for example, using Nigeria as a case study, our minimum wage is around $35 in a month. You understand? In a month, that is what it is. And we have some organizations that are even paying less than $30 as minimum wage. In fact, we have some nursery school teachers.
I have a friend in Nigeria making $50 a month. And she have to take $50.
Even me, before I relocated to Canada, I used to make around $40 a month. You understand? And I was a graduate. I have my master's degree. That was what I was making before I relocated. If you look at what is happening in Nigeria, what is happening in Africa, now compare it with what is happening in other Black countries that are outside the continent. You understand, like Jamaica, Haiti, they're having similar problems. So me, I think maybe the rate is under a spell. You understand? Someone is talking about fundamental problem. So maybe we can anchor that fundamental problem as a spell, as a cause, because we have similar problem and we are not ready. We are not willing to challenge the status quo. We are oppressing ourselves. I mean, I'm no longer blaming the West, because it is not the fault of the West that an average African schools in the rural community does not have proper classrooms. You understand? Does not have proper school structure for their pupils, for their students to thrive. Go to most of the rural communities in Nigeria, in Togo, in Ghana. Most of their schools, most of their classrooms, the roofs are leaking. Some of their classrooms don't even have chairs. Look at the roads in those communities; they are not good. Look at there is no electricity. Look at roads; the roads are bad. No healthcare system. What, do we have any plan for people with disability? Is there any income security for them? Go to Jamaica, the same thing. No social income, no social programs, nothing. We are just useless as a people. I will not blame the Arabs for what they are doing in the continent. What the Arabs are doing and the Westerners are doing, they are doing it not for themselves, but for their generations that are yet to come. When Christopher Columbus went to North America to conquer the indigenous people there, steal their lands and everything, he did it for who? Is he the one enjoying it? He did it for the generations that are yet to come. And those generations are the one enjoying it today. But what are we doing? We are not creating wealth for our generations that are yet to come. What the Arabs are doing in Sudan right now, that they are unaliving, there's ethnic cleansing going on in Sudan, in northern Sudan right now. I was in one panel. And one prince, he said there's a prince of a kingdom in Darfur. He said that what the Arabs want, they want total annexation of northern Sudan because of the gold deposits and the minerals in northern Sudan. And it is the United Arab Emirates that is sponsoring it. Same with Qatar and Saudi Arabia. And the reason why they are doing this is because they know that oil is no longer going to be lucrative in the next 200 years from now, in the next 100 years from now. So the Arabs are already, they forecasted the future. They realized that they need an alternative to oil so that they can be able to maintain their standard of living, to protect the generations of Arabs that are yet to come. That's why I say that they are fighting for the mineral resources in Africa.
So
but we are not doing anything. Let me land anyway. Let me land. Even, okay, host, let me say something lastly. What is happening in Sudan, in Darfur, is also happening in Nigeria too, Zamfara. The Arabs now, we have a new tribe in Nigeria now called the Shua Arabs. These are the Arabs that are coming from northern Sudan in order to annex Zamfara as part of their territory. And Zamfara has gold. They are displacing the indigenous. So that's to tell you that we are stupid as a people. Even me and my look.
Yeah. So
we are not serious.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Thank you so much. And it goes back to Ikigai's point about I think we are fundamentally flawed. I think black people, I think maybe there's something in our brain that just makes us easy to control, subservient to, like, if you look different from us, we're easy to control. There has to be, to Ikigai's point and so more, there has to be. I was so I think Top Dollar has to go next. But I'm gonna say this. At some point, like just like you, Omo, I also stopped blaming I don't blame the West anymore. And I've started doing some research, like, are black people just meant to be slaves? Like, genuinely, I think it's time for us to start asking this. Like, are we genuinely just meant to be dominated by everybody else? Because, like almost Sid and Ikigai said, like, because if you look around the world where black men and black people dominate, we have the same problem across the world. Like, you start asking this question, like, because they would have been, because there is no way with 1 billion people or 700 million, but like, there should be at least 5 black African countries that are like, you know what, fuck it, especially the smaller countries, the Equatorial Guinea, the Togo, the Benin. These are small countries that are like Lagos State. The fact that, sorry, I'm eating. The fact that these countries are not like Singapore. You understand what I mean, Omo? I was thinking these smaller countries, that have small population, have resources, they should be like our own Singapore because it's smaller. But no, they are dragging poverty with Nigeria. Anyway, Top Dollar, go ahead. After Top Dollar, we're going to go to Daryl. Please.
Yeah.
Take
thank you for letting.
And please, when we land, everybody can then have an open panel. Go ahead, Top Dollar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is a talking point right now where everybody is waking up and it seems like they forget the history of where we're coming from. I'm not going to beat up on black men and black women like that. God created the world and we were the first people on the earth. We look like the earth looked like us. God gave us a spiritual connection.
So I dropped him. I don't have time for that bullshit. Dari, go ahead.
Okay. So I've been really educated hearing some of the things you guys said. So I'm American, but do black men only value sex and foreign women? I wouldn't say that. The Africa was the first continent. Was the first civilization, and so you guys have a long history that probably we don't even entirely know about. I don't think our IQ is low. I don't think that's the thing. I think we were the first, and so certain things come with that a lot of people had their eyes on Africa, Asia, Europe, mostly Europe. And so when we see all of the stuff we see online, yes, even in Black America, we have a lot of issues with the Black community. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even think there's any going back for Black Americans. I think where it's so much hate going on between us, at least online, you see so many Black men saying terrible things about Black women. You see so many Black women saying terrible things about Black men, even Black women, speaking with white supremacists about going after Black men. We're so separate from one another. I don't see coming together. So the faith, I think, would be in Africa. And I would love to see Africa thrive because I've always wanted to go there. And I still am going to go there. But I think it's really going to be up to Africa because Black people were only 12% of the population here. And we're not replacing ourselves, our birth Our birth rate is very low, and the whites' birth rate is low too, but they're still the majority. And I don't see us progressing past that. It's just too much hate that's being thrown at each other. And I'm not saying it's just Black men's fault and it's just Black women's fault. It's just that Black men are the leaders of it. So I think more of the blame would go to them. But I think both sides are accountable for the destruction of where we're at now. And I'll land.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go next. I have been talking about the raccoonery and the buffoonery that I've been witnessing over here in the United Kingdom, and it is embarrassing. I have got to the point now where I am encouraging certain people to go to interracial dating so that their bloodline can be bred out, because some people are just of no use to us, and the only benefit they can bring is to mix and mix and mix until they are no more. That's just the real. The second thing is, I think we are intelligent, but the way Africa's education system has been set up is about 150 years old. They are, like, in terms of advancement and where we're going as a society, as a global community, Africa has just entered the 1950s at best. And even the way we're taught, the way we're educated, the things that we're taught to aspire to are what was the ideals in. So anytime we achieve a certain feat and we think the playing field is leveled, actually the game changes again. Because do you guys remember before it was analog, where you needed a satellite dish or some sort of aerial to pick up radio frequencies for you to get your TV to work? You needed wires to run along poles for your phone to work. Now they've moved on to digital. Everyone in the West started going digital from 2007, 8, 9, 10. By 2012, everything was completely digital in the West, in Europe. America started it first with TiVo through Virgin Media, where you could pause live TV, rewind. That is a digital technology. Then we've gone from digital to virtual. And now we're moving into another space where we're going into 5G and 6G, where it's about radio waves and AI. So Africa has not even come out of analog. Africa is trying in some parts to be digital, but even in that attempt, everywhere is not even digital. Some places are not even analog yet. So, you know, like, I had to take us down this little history lesson, because if you are not even analog, where you will be like, hello, come in, pick up radio 1212, come in. You're not even there yet. And someone's already on AI. That's like 1, 2, 3, that's like 6 generations behind. I remember when GSM came out in Africa, it took 15 years for, you know, those international phone shops where they used to have booths in like the major parts of the cities where you could go in and make international phone calls. They only got rid of those like in the last 15 years. That's late, because in the West, everyone started having a mobile phone from like 2004, 5, 6. Everyone had a mobile phone. I remember when 3, the network, dropped that handset where you could video call people, and this is like 2004. So there's a lot of, we have to be more honest with the conversation, because like the guy that you dropped that was saying, oh, why did you drop me? One thing that we like Black men love to do is, we were kings. We were kings. You lot love that. You're so in love with, oh yeah, we ruled Egypt and we did this and we did. It's like a fairy tale escapism. What are you doing today? Whatever you're doing today is what matters. Imagine, and I notice with church as well, we do this a lot in church. They always like to talk about, oh, Abraham, Moses, Noah, this one. You're always celebrating and glorifying past glories. Today is a new day. Today you can be glorious if you choose to. But it's so disheartening when even the Black women on this app that hold the spaces where we open up the dialogue and have certain discourse and conversations about why things are the way they are, the level of literacy, comprehension, emotional intelligence, and awareness of surrounding that I see our men display is shockingly embarrassing. A lot of you, even when the conversation is open and genuine, a lot of you cannot even actively engage in a discussion and stay on the topic and comprehend the topic. And you're expecting the number one thing you lot love to ask, oh, you submit. No, I'm not submitting under someone that can't even understand a basic prompt on TikTok. It's not going to happen, buddy. And that doesn't make the women bad. That just speaks to how ill-informed and unprepared you are. Because let's say, for example, tomorrow, Black men were given unmitigated power. You were in control. You went from the bottom to the top of society. What would you do with that power? I feel like you lot would start pressing the nuke button and everyone would be gone because you lot would get overly emotional.
Wakanda.
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
If Black men are given power today, we'll fuck it up. I guarantee you, Esther.
I'm telling you, you lot will press that button and it will go kaboom. Everything will kaboom.
South Africa is a case study. South Africa is a good case study.
We're gonna go open panel in a minute. We're gonna go. I'm gonna say this, Esther. Thanks for helping me. Says this. I don't quite, and you kind of did this, Esther, but I respect that because everybody has their own opinion. The reason I dropped that gentleman, sorry guys for doing that, is like what Esther said. I am a lot of Black men. One of the quickest ways to piss me off, guys, is to glorify things that we are not experiencing today. I hate that shit. Oh, you can't say that. You know, we're the first people. Well, buddy, the last people are running amok with us. But, like, oh, you know, you can't say that we were kings and shit. We were in Egypt. Well, look at Egypt today, buddy. They don't look like me and you. We were Moors and shit. What about today? We need to start looking at today. We need to stop giving ourselves history lesson. History is okay. I respect history. But guys, as Africans, we need to always look at the past. The main issue that faces Africa right now is our leadership. The Black people that get to lead us don't have a common interest. We need to look at the present and we need to look at the future while acknowledging the past, but not dwelling in the past. I'm going to say this again because it's critical. As Africans, as Black people, we need to acknowledge the past, but we need to move the fuck on. We are in 2025, guys. We're not in 1960. The beautiful thing with 2025 is that you don't have to go through all. In fact, I personally think Africa can develop quickly because now we have reference. We have reference. We have reference points. We see what to do and we see what not to do. Period. We need to start saying, oh, but you know, we got to do this. No, yeah, sure, I get it. But we have a process. We have a reference point to move forward. And it starts and ends with Black men. Open panel, guys. Whoever it's unmute themselves can go for it. And by the way, to the lady Dario that said you think it's not because I think you mentioned that you think it's too late for Black Americans in America. I don't think it's too late. I think there are other communities in America that can do well, that are doing well. All you need to do is look at what they do well and then replicate it. We need to stop looking at things in a doomer mentality. I think that is, while I acknowledge where you're coming from, but I think that is not America is a home. Black Americans contributed to the building of America. You deserve a stake in America, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I genuinely believe so. I don't think it's fair for Black Americans to think that they have no future. I think you absolutely have a future there. What Black Americans need, my suggestion, I'm not a Black American, so it's not my place to tell what to do. But what I would, and this is what I'm saying to Black people in Europe too, and in Africa, in Asia, wherever, is you need to figure out how to get economic and political power, just like the Jews do, just like the Indians do, just like the Asians do, just like the whites do, just like the Arabs do. Simple. It's not rocket, and we need to stop mystifying everything. That doesn't help us. Just like I tell my dad, stop godifying everything, please. Any small thing we talk about, oh God, God, I have to leave God alone. God damn. I have to tell my dad, like, every fucking sentence, God, 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 God. I'm like, I have to ask my dad. I was like, the way you call God, don't you think like, it's a bit weird, no? He was like, what? It's so automatic to him. He doesn't understand it. I'm like, you call God for like the most basic thing that you are supposed to do. Put yourself in, assume God is an entity. Put yourself in God's shoes, kind of in a way. You're calling him for like things you're supposed to do with the brain he has given you, with the hands he has given you. Don't you think God is going to be kind of fed up? And if God is not fed up, don't you think you're exploiting? I don't know. I don't know. It's like certain things you should be able to do as a human. Now, if something is too big for you, I get it. But everything like, oh, job, getting a job, being healthy, this, you're calling God. I'm just saying. But maybe Esther wanted to go.
you know.
And then it's open panel, guys. Which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you talked about that because, I'm going to do a live because I'm exploring the different facets of being a raccoon. So one of them is the religious raccoon. There's different levels to this raccoonery. One of the things that I agree with you on is I don't think all hope is lost. And the reason, and this ties into even why I started talking about raccoonery, because I was always shying away from certain topics to do with Black people, but now I've been left with no choice. The amount of bullying and trolling and negative comments that I got on my profile from men from other races and women, but mostly men, insulting us for trying to get UK Black British people to spend money within our community for this Christmas. That even something so simple like that, they didn't see the vision and they started making fun of us, using our face in their lives and doing all sorts of things. And I said to myself, where is the protection? Because part of leadership is being able to protect the team that you're leading. And what I've seen is anything that will require Black men to stand up and fight for something, you guys are so quick to shirk your responsibility. And I called it out, and a lot of you are cowards. You are a coward. And you don't have to admit it here on the internet. You don't have to tell Kingsley. Go in your room, under the sound of my voice. Look yourself in the mirror, in your eye, and admit that you are scared. Because there's no way you can be sitting there and watching all these things happen. You're stuck in a loop of escapism. Everyone is going to be scared at some point in their life. Bravery means you're able to still do something in spite of your fear. And a lot of you have not conceptualized that you can still do something that you're not sure of. Yes, it's scary. Could your life be taken? Possibly. But you're going to do it anyway. Because if Ibrahim, he's trying to develop his country, he doesn't even have the technology you have access to. They've attempted to take that man's life over. I think it's even more than that. I think it's probably up to 100 by now. And he's still there because I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it today. The day you guys decide to stand up, the Black women around the world, we will back you. We've always been the one shouting and championing and fighting for your justice anyway, because you don't even come out for yourself. So the day you decide to be a man and stand up, the power and force that will be behind you, that will propel you, you will literally be shocked. You will question why you never did it sooner. Because one thing is that you forget is that once a Black woman has decided to do something, we are very determined that it will happen. As a daughter of Eve, I'm telling you, it will happen.
I agree. And I also feel like the whole, especially in the West, here in the US, with this whole submission thing, I think too, once Black men really start to really like rise up in everything and start really doing their job, I really think they would like submission won't even be an issue. And I know, and I don't want to get into this whole submission conversation, but really once the women sees how you're willing, because Black women here don't feel like they're being protected. Like, and just to go off by what is it, Wakanda, what you were saying, like there would, you guys might have seen the video. It was like a viral video of these like 3 Black women were getting this white man. He was trying to get with one of the Black women and she rejected him, and he like went off and called her a slur and was calling all of them a slur. And as he was walking by and doing that, there were 3 Black men sitting literally right next to, like, not too far from what they were, literally, and they witnessed everything. In fact, they looked back, and when the women were like, "Wait, what did he say?" They started laughing, and those Black men themselves repeated what he said. Do you understand? Like, they witnessed the whole thing, and they repeated what that white man said and called the slur, and they started laughing. And they wonder why Black women literally here in the US can, like, we don't respect you. We don't respect you. We can't submit to you. We have a hard time submitting because look at what just happened. And I guarantee you, any other race of any man would not have let that happen. Would not have let their women get called out like that. And I'm just like, do y'all not, you don't feel embarrassed yourself as men, like protecting, like they literally called you, like your women a racial slur, and you laugh. And like that right there was like, wow, like for me, that was a moment. I was like, wow.
That's how a lot of us are. That's
And
what I was
Dario,
speaking to, how divided we are.
You're going to speak in a minute. To your point, Gihan, and what those Black men don't realize is that those men that you are laughing with, insulting your women, they are also insulting you. That's one thing I say to these guys, Daryl, and to Jihan. If you, as a Black man, create a space for non-Black men to insult Black women, and you are laughing with them, they are insulting you because that woman is you. She's you. That Black woman is you. She's me. So if she, if I don't know why, I don't know how these guys think. I genuinely don't. Like, you are laughing. You think she's separate from you? If those guys can call her a slur, what do you think they're going to call you? You understand? But those guys don't seem to understand it. They think they're part of the club. And again, this is what I think a lot of Black oppression that existed lasted so long. Because a lot of Black men, in my own observation, from colonization to some of the things that happened in America, it lasted for as long as it did. Because enough Black men were okay with it as long as they had some type of proximity to power. They don't care about the greater group. They care for themselves. If they had to sell out the entire community just for them to be the only, they would do it. This is why a lot of African countries, a lot of Caribbean countries are the way they are, because it's few at the top, proximity to whiteness, proximity to Arab, proximity to whoever has the money, they will sell out the entire group. They don't care. That is why African presidents can sit in office for 40 years. Country is in bullocks, but he don't care. He will have his foreign wife with a big gele looking mean as fuck. He don't care. He spends more time abroad than he does in his country. I mean, let me shut up. I think Dario wanted to go. Dario, go ahead, dear. Otherwise, I'll just... And after Dario, let the men speak as well, because I want to hear what the guys have to say.
Okay. I was just going to agree with what she was saying, too. And yeah, and just when they're saying, agreeing with that, and I see on a lot of panels with Black men saying, hey, let these Black women get KILLED by these white men. Let them get abused by these white men and such and such. And they don't even realize, and these are some Black men that have Black daughters. So I don't even understand, like, what do you think is going to happen to your daughter that you have to raise her in a society where you're saying, hey, it's okay to be racist against Black women? Like, how are they going to move in the world? They're not going to be able to walk around with a stamp on their head that says, hey, I'm such and such's daughter, so don't bully me, my dad Coons. They're not going to be able to do that. So, and that's what I was speaking. I hear what you say, host, that we do have the ability to thrive, but that's dependent on the men. And our men, the Black men, are fleeing from Black women, and equally Black women are fleeing. The Black men are going, for the most part, with non-Black women, and most Black women aren't having kids. We're completely separating from each other. I don't, unless it will take an Ibrahim Traore here to actually change something like that, because we face a different problem than those in Africa here.
No, I hear you, Dario. Fellas, Ikigai or
Look, I really don't know what is actually wrong, because if you look at most of our leaders, someone said earlier on that our education system is bad, this and that, you know. I really don't think our education system might be bad, but however, we need to also look at this, that most of our leaders, many of them went abroad to study.
Our education system is actually not bad, to be honest. What sucks is the infrastructure. West African education system is actually one of the best in the world. Wayek.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
true.
Go on.
Yeah, it's good. But however, they need to also incorporate patriotism in our, curriculum, because when our people are not patriotic. That's the reason why you see that we have so many saboteurs among us. You know, if patriotism is instilled right from childhood, you understand. Honestly speaking, our pupils, if they are being taught patriotism, they will grow old with it. You understand? And that will make them to never want to betray their race, even to want to even marry outside of their community. Look at India. Many of them don't marry outside of their community. It's because of the indoctrination. You understand? The brainwashing. You understand? You know, the knowledge that has been instilled in them. You know, so and one thing is that, you know, sometimes the reason why I usually think that maybe our race disorder is pale is because I don't want to be pessimistic. If you look at most of our African leaders, many of them studied abroad. They were discriminated against. They saw all these things. You understand? But rather than for them to replicate most of the things they saw abroad, they refuse not to replicate them. Look at the current president of Nigeria, for example. He spent most of the years in America. He spent over 2 decades in America. But look at the way he's governing Nigeria. If you look at the president of Congo, look at the president of Congo. President of Congo, he studied in Belgium. Look at the way he's handling the affair of Congolese people. It's a shame. Look at the president of Benin. Look at them. Even Paul Biya studied abroad. Many of them studied abroad. They went to Harvard. They went to Cambridge. Even look, okay, now we've had the opportunity to even have to experience female leadership. There was this woman, Alison Madueke, the former minister of petroleum. You understand? Look at the way she exercised power.
They're just as terrible, bro.
Terrible women. You understand? So we've tried men, we've tried
sorry.
women.
Is this the woman that said that a snake swallowed the money?
Yes.
No, a different woman, a different one. She's not even the one, a different one entirely.
She was in petroleum, no? Listen.
Yeah, petroleum. This one, when this woman was minister of petroleum, her son was dining and whining with Neyo. Our son has a private jet. For you to know, for you to see the level of corruption. These are people, the woman studied.
Even the one in Tanzania, that woman in Tanzania, she appointed her daughter.
You see? That one is that. My brother, look at the one in Equatorial Guinea. His son is the vice president of Equatorial Guinea. His brother is the minister of defense.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Look,
it's crazy, and I'm my brother, and I can hear your passion. I hear your passion, bro, because clearly we want to do better. I can hear the passion in your voice, I can hear the pain. Because most Africans don't want to be abroad. You know that, right? I tell this to people. I was like, most Africans want to be in Africa. Most of us leave Africa because, bro, you have to. And most Africans abroad, after they've gotten some stability, they move back. Most Africans, I say this to people in America and to Europe. I'm like, most Africans, after they've made enough money, have some investments, they go back because all they need is just that economic freedom. If Africa improved today by 50%, I swear most Africans are going back because we want to stay home. But we don't have the time. You know, time is of the essence. When you're young, when you're strong, you want to at least go make some money. Come back home. You understand? So if Africa improves like even by 40%, 50%, we don't mind. We're not saying it has to be perfect. As long as there's some things that are strong, good infrastructure, something that people can use and build their life legitimately, it will decline quickly.
Let me shock you again. You understand? Okay, one of the reasons why I've even accepted that it could be true that the IQ is very low on average. It's not peculiar to everyone. We have some sophisticated people amongst us, but they are very few. They are minority, and unfortunately, they don't even have access to power. If you look at what is happening in Uganda presently, we have 2 Indian men that are contesting for parliamentary election in Uganda. You understand? I want to ask you one question. Is it possible for a black person, you understand, whether you're even born in India or something like that, for you to even run for a councillorship position in India? But we have 2 Indians in Uganda running for a political office. And these people, if you see the way they are waxing stronger, if you see the way black people are running, hailing them, saying that, oh, it doesn't matter. He was born in Uganda. He was this. And imagine, can you imagine the level of stupidity? Oh, my God. Even when I saw the campaign rally, when I saw everything, I was so ashamed. I was just annoyed. Like, what kind of...
Even in Ghana, there's like, I think I saw on the internet, like a white person as the chief or something in Ghana. I saw in Kenya, some Indians are asking to be recognized as a tribal group. Like, these guys, I don't blame them. If you see opportunity, you take it. I don't blame them. I mean, shit. Even there are places in Kenya right now where Kenyans are not allowed to go because it belongs to Indians only. That's what Indians do.
Bro,
But
can I shock you finally now? Let me submit
please,
now. Do you know
that's
that,
shocking.
lastly, the United Arab Emirates, many people might not know this, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, they've bought hectares of land in some African countries. In Tanzania, UAE, they've bought hectares of land that is the size of Lagos State in Tanzania. United Arab Emirates has bought hectares of land that is the size of Ibadan, a city in Nigeria, in Kenya. Saudi Arabia also bought land, hectares of land in Zambia. See how we are selling the future of our generation that are yet to come. They are selling this land. The Arabs are fooling them in the name of, in this guy, I'm trying to recall this, climate change. They are using climate change as a facade to be buying African land. Now, let us ask ourselves, what if in the next 500 years from now, or 200 years from now, the next generation of Arabs decide to export part of their population to these lands that their ancestors have bought for them in Africa? Have we not created problem for our generations that are yet to come? Can you imagine thousands of hectares of land to Arabs? For what? I'm ashamed of us, honestly. It's really sad. I think.
I hear you, Omo. I hear you, bro. I hear the pain, bro. I hear the pain. Let's give Ikigai the floor. So after Ikigai goes, we have 10 more minutes. Everybody can wrap up because I gotta end the live. But I really appreciate you guys, genuinely. It's good for us to have these conversations, you know. Ikigai, my brother, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think this conversation is about time we started to take responsibilities and stop shifting the blames to whoever, the West or whatnot. Like I said earlier, I think for any black man who doesn't understand that the extent to which the black woman is respected is directly proportional how you are rated amongst the men of other races, I think you are losing it. Because if the black man today rises in status among the ranks of men
As a guy who
from other
is a
races,
late bloomer
definitely
in
the
his
black
life,
woman will rise.
I know what it's like to
Nobody
be
F's with
not selected by women. I know what it's like to
vanilla
be
woman.
ignored. I know what it's
Not
like
because
to
she's inherently strong, no, but because the men
be
are
a
strong.
fly on
They
the
build
wall and never
institutions.
acknowledged.
They
So maybe
build
that's why
businesses
I
that are
kind of
powerful.
empathize with
So nobody messes with them. So any black man that is into the business of bashing black woman, like you said, you're laughing at yourself basically. If you join them in laughing at the black woman, you're actually laughing at yourself because you're actually laughing at you're not powerful enough to protect your woman. Basically, that's what it means. And for education, but people who says education, if anybody have actually read Frank Fanon's Black Skin, White Face and all that, he talks about how much of, I would say, colonialism has actually helped to made us this way. He tries to decipher the black mind, decolonize it, and try to make sense of why we act the way we do, why we sabotage, why we are always easy targets for these vanilla people, right? And he came to a conclusion that as much as we would say colonization actually helped or watered it down a little bit, but at its core, we still have to take responsibility. And that is where I'm actually standing on. So I'm done with all these, oh, the West are our problem. No. We are our problem. And to emancipate ourselves from this, there is a role leadership plays. And that is why it breaks my heart when we are not getting this leadership right. We don't have elites as a BLK people generally. Because if you watch what elites do in societies, they literally elevate the society. Rather, our elites are what you will call, is it house niggas they call them or whatever? They will literally go and sell you out, basically.
Uncle Tom.
Something like that. So all the black elites, if you take Africa, for example, those you call your elites, they are the ones that are in bed with these people to sell you out. They are not even thinking about your own betterment. So it's a core problem. And these elites are well educated. They know firsthand what education means. They have tasted it from the West. They also know how they are being treated by these people. But for some weird reason, that still makes me wonder, is it something happening they are still easy to sell out their own. So leadership has to be gotten right, one way or the other. Because as much as we can struggle on our individual level to make things right, it takes leadership to lift up a people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really takes leadership to lift up. If the right leadership comes in any African country, the right leadership, it can literally emancipate
Absolutely.
those people,
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
But we are still at loggerheads with my tribe, all those kind of pecky things that don't make sense.
Absolutely.
And that is why I agree with you today that if you give us that power today, trust me, there will be some men that will sacrifice it on the altar of bashing black women because things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? They will use this power and start to bash their own women because at that level, that is what they are thinking. They're not thinking how they can be much more influential in the world amongst the men of other races. No, they're thinking about how to subdue their women for whatever weird reason I can't imagine.
So subdue their women and subdue other black people.
Exactly. Never against the other people.
Have you noticed that it's never against? I am yet to see black men. I am yet to see black men say, "Oh shit, no, we got to take over the business in this area." No, it's never that. No. It's always, I'm going to boycott African shop. I'm boycotting Caribbean shop. What the fuck?
That's to show you the level of thinking. It's crazy, actually.
If you see what is happening here now in Canada, those Indians, those Mexicans, they are now taking over everywhere. Like now they want to just subject blacks to all these menial PSW jobs. That's what they want to subject us to be doing. That's the level of, I don't know what's going on. Like it's really sad. We are not creating wealth, honestly, which is really dangerous for the.
We're black.
And as a collective also. Yeah, as a collective, we are not long-term thinkers. As a collective, we are one of those people who don't think about our future. Like what will happen to, for example, African children in the next 100 years. No African community is thinking about it. No one.
They're talking 100 years.
Should I shock you guys? In the next 100 years, the Arabs will have annexed East Africa. You don't know what the Arabs plan for East Africa. What is going on? You guys don't know what is going on.
I mean,
even in Congo, do you know what is happening in Congo? They are trying to balkanize Congo and they are trying to use those Tutsi, to destabilize that Congo and balkanize it, break it apart, so that they can take some areas, some parts that have mineral resources. Same thing is happening in Sudan, same thing is happening in Tanzania.
Yeah.
What you see in Tanzania, that lady is a hero. A lot of people might not know. It is Arabs that want to destabilize Tanzania. They want, because that country is a one-party country. You understand? They practice one-party system. But the Arabs, they have a puppet that they want to use in order to hijack power. You understand?
Yeah. So you see what I mean? That's why for me, I don't like when people like, oh, decolonizing. I think even some Westerners are like, stop blaming us, bro. And I agree with them. They're like, why are you blaming me? If we make you an offer and you accept, is that my fault? Panelists, tell me. If you
absolutely not.
Absolutely.
If I come to you, Omo, please wait, sir. If I come to you, Omo, you're sitting down in somewhere in Africa, and I fly all the way, and I say, Omo, bro, I've got like $100 million for you, please. Take this money, and I want you to execute leader, and I want to buy 8,000 whatever hectares of land that has oil, and you accept the money. How is that my fault?
It's my fault. It's not your fault. I saw that.
Can I add as well that even what I've noticed, because I used to work for these elites, they educate their children, but they educate them in these institutions where the curriculum and the ideologies and ideals that they're fed are Western. So you're paying all these hundreds of thousands of pounds for your kids to go to these elite schools, but at no point in that school is your child taught something that I like to call racial self-esteem. They're taught to assimilate and aspire to whiteness, even if it's subconsciously. So you'll find a lot of them end up either marrying outside of their race, or they'll have to marry within that same network who's equally received the same level of miseducation. And it goes on. Even the fact that you can go to an African country and if you're wearing a foreign brand, you're seen as elite. This addiction that Africans have to wearing designer labels essentially is the modern day version of branding. Like in slavery, they used to brand the Africans with the initials of who their owner was. It's the same thing. There's people that literally, if you're not wearing designer, they're going to degrade you. They won't even talk to you properly or treat you properly. Like everything that is positive, that is good, we're taught to see outside of who we are. So we don't have an identity. We always say, oh, we're proud to be African. But the moment you see a Wahite person wearing a agbada or wearing gele and Iru and Buba, you'll be sharing it, making it go viral. You'll be saying, oh, she's one of us. You'll be giving her Yoruba names, giving them Igbo names. So excited that they put on Ankara and did some out of rhythm dance.
Wait, let me read something for you guys now.
Yes, sir.
Something that ties into what we're talking about how other communities build power, right? My friend just shared this to me. You know the CEO of Microsoft is India, right? We know that, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Satya Nadella. So this is from AF Post. He just said, I want you guys to listen. How other groups move. He's in America, Abi. He's a billionaire, Abi. Correct. Now listen. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced a plan to invest $17.5 billion in India to support the country's ambition. In 2025, Microsoft laid off over 15,000 employees in America while receiving approval for 7,425 H-1B visas. African man will carry that money, take it to England. Take it to France, take it to
Switzerland,
UK.
You marry more wives. You marry more wives.
That right there,
marry more wives.
and that right there, and that right there is why that right there shows. I come from a corporate background, a tech background. So I worked as a recruiter for a large tech company. And one thing that I noticed, and they were largely like Asian, Indian, and white. And one thing I noticed with the corporate, they will always support each other. They will hire each other. When I'm hiring for a role, even if I have 2-3 candidates, I get an email, oh, hire this person. And it turns out to be one of their own, and they don't even got to do that much interviews. So they literally make it a priority to hire their own within their own company. They will literally prioritize. And one thing I noticed, like I've seen, and I wish there were more Black people in tech. I tell Black, get into tech. The most Black people I see are Africans. There's not that many, unfortunately, Black Americans in tech as I'd like them to see. But one thing I always notice about those corporations, they will always help each other out. They'll always, if somebody knows somebody, they'll get in. And it's sad here that it's known here in corporate. It's like if someone is in management, you're most like, I'm as a Black woman, and I hate to say it, if I have 2 interviewers and one company is interviewing me and that's a Black person and another company is interviewing me and it's a white man, I am so sorry. I'm most likely able to get hired by the white man. And I hate to say it. Because for my most advocate in corporate America has been white men. And not Black people. The most people that's given me opportunities in corporate has been white people, white men especially, than my own. But I tried to do my role and try to hire more Black people, find more Black people in tech. But I can't. How can I help my own if there's not many of us in this area? Can we just invest in other stuff versus sports and other things, restaurants and soul food stuff? That's not going to go anywhere. I'm sorry. We need to get into industries that are actually going to build wealth. And we had, and I'm just going to land. We had there was an issue. Is there something fundamentally wrong? No, I don't think so. We are very smart people. Black men and women are very smart people. We are very smart. Africans come into the U.S. and get into these schools, and they get into tech, and they make bank. They make bank. But the issue, I genuinely feel like it's not that complicated. We just got to stick together, stay with each other, build together. And we have to, and me and my friend, we talk about this all the time. It's not fair. The game is not fair. It's rigged. We all know that. It's rigged. Here in America, it's rigged, and the whole world is rigged. We can't play fair. I am so sorry. I hate to say it. I'm not saying fight, but we have to. God forbid we have to get violent.
The world has never been fair, though. So I don't understand this.
Right, it's never been fair. But I feel like we as Black people, correct. But I feel like we as Black people, we want to play fair. That's our issue. We think we can get what we want by playing fair, and I think we're not going to get anywhere by playing fair. And so as soon as we show them, hey, I can get just as dirty as you, and you're going to respect me, I think that's when it starts to change. Like
Yeah.
that, and of course it's going to be a certain boundary, but we can't expect for things to change if we play their game. It's not fair.
I mean, again. So another thing that I don't want to. Thank you so much for that, Jihan. And can you guys see my screen though? I agree with what you said, Jihan. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see what you see. So it's like, life has never been fair. I feel like, black people in general, we have this warped understanding of the world, and I blame religion because I think religion plays a key role in the subjugation of the mentality of a lot of Africans. A lot of Africans have a very warped understanding of life. Like we have this, we don't realize it. Like in Nigeria, for example, the average Nigerian is they don't realize it, but and I see this even in my own family with my own parents. They've kind of outsourced a lot of what they should be able to do with their mind and their brain. They outsource it to this quote unquote God. And anytime you challenge, like, what does that even mean? And like, for example, God will help you. God will do this. Things that are supposed to be done by you with your brain and your hands. You know what I mean? It's like, and I always ask, like, what do you mean by that? Explain it. What do you mean? How will God help you to get this thing you want? And I always challenge, like, you do realize these countries that you travel to for healthcare, they don't outsource anything to God. They're not even religious. These countries are atheists, right? But they use their coconut. They use their mind. So if it works for them, why hasn't your prayers and your outsourcing of God helped you move forward? Because at the end of the day, no matter how you try to frame it, it's all about what you do with your brain and what you do with your hands. It is as simple as that. And I think we need to stop this idea that life is fair. Life is not fair. Life has never been fair. In fact, the system is rigged because it wasn't meant for you. The system was built for other people. It wasn't built for you. So it's black people, Africans need to build their own system. And you can never build your system on top of another person's foundation. It's impossible. And this is something a lot of Africans don't seem to understand. This is something a lot of black people don't understand.
That's true.
You have to build your own shit. The Indians are powerful because they build their own system. No matter where they go, no matter whether they're in America, whether they're in UK, whether they're in China, they build their own system. And that is why they compete. That is
Can
why
I
they're
add
successful.
something?
It's not about, and I saw another lady, and I like her. She was talking about boycotting Asian shops. I'm like, I get it, but who gives a fuck? Why do you have to boycott? You can boycott all you want, I get it. But as long as you don't own that stuff, how you are treated in there, madam, I'm sorry. I know the morality of it. It's cute. Oh, you don't own it. Build your own and don't go there. End of story. Don't talk. We talk too much as Africans. Blah, 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 blah. And I feel like as Africans and as black people in general, we need to move away from this social justice shit. Stop fighting for everybody that would never fight for you. And I'm talking to the black Americans here. I'm talking to the black Americans here, for example. God damn. I just saw a guy, this was last month. Oh, I just got fired. I'm speaking up for the people of color. They send you a message? Did the people of color send you a
People
message?
of color. That people, people of color. I hate that time.
No, me too.
I hate that time.
Me too, Omar. Like the people, is a black American, like a whole black man, talking about 50 people. I got a letter from Amazon, and it was only people of color, black. He said black and brown. I'm like, brown people send you a message. Why did the brown people not make a video including you? Because you know what I mean. Like other groups don't advocate the way you advocate for them. Shut the fuck up and build your own shit. End of story. I think you were speaking a minute, my dear. I think the more black people move away from this victim mentality, the world is cold. I think Ikigai said it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. End of story, buddy. Put your feelings to the back. Nobody gives a fuck. The world respects winners. Period. See, even this world we are living in, if black people knew how to organize and put money together, we could still negotiate to have a better deal. Do you think police brutality in America is going to end by you jumping all over the place and raising placards? Police brutality ends when if police fuck you up, some black gangsters go and fuck them up. That is it. That is it. Or you put money together and you lobby. Black people don't lobby in America. There's no black lobby group. How do you expect as a black community, black Americans in America, to be seen and heard when you're not even in the rooms? I'm sorry to say to the black Americans, you are an afterthought in America, unfortunately. That's why whenever the FBA group shout to other black immigrants, I'm like, you guys are talking to the wrong group. You are not even, even Trump. It's so sad. Your own president is more worried about Nigeria than he's worried about you. That is sad, bro. I'm not saying that's good. It's not a flex. But Trump is more concerned about Nigeria than what's going on in your community. That is terrible. You guys need to start advocating. You need to, instead of fighting black immigrants online and listening to Tariq Nasheed, who is a pseudo-intellectual, you guys need to come together and lobby politicians, start your own businesses, use that money to lobby. That's what the Jews do. Have you guys heard of AIPAC? AIPAC. Have you guys heard of AIPAC? Put a one in the chat if you know AIPAC. That is what they do. They don't have time to be jumping all over the place, protesting, hashtag this, hashtag that. Buddy, put your money where your mouth is. Create your own lobby group. That is what the NAACP was supposed to do, but they've gone strict political. You're supposed to be nuanced. Put your money together, lobby for better tax credits, lobby for laws, use that money, create businesses, use that business, and influence political decision. It's simple. Because at the end of the day, this world runs on power. Black folks, it doesn't run on hashtags. It doesn't run on protest. I'm sorry. This world runs on power. Whoever has the power, people are going to listen to you. And it's not even about race. I'm just being honest with you guys. Yeah, it's not even about race. This racism thing, racism exists. Racism is not going anywhere. Even in Nigeria, where everybody is black, we have racism. Let's be for real. Even within white people, did you know that there's their own form of tribalism within white people? Did you know that?
Russia and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine.
Exactly. Russia, Slavs. You're a Slav. You're a Slav. You're a Nordic. There's every group has their own tribalism and racism. Forget that shit. I'm telling you, this is coming from a guy who knows. Even within Latinos, they have their own tribalism. Even within white people, they have their own tribalism. Even within Arabs, they have the Shia and the Sunni and the Arabs. Everybody got beat. Everybody has.
Even
what matters is not power. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted to buttress your point about the Arabs, the Gulf Arabians. You understand? Those ones that are very wealthy in oil. They consider themselves more Arabs than those Arabs in Africa.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
This is not even about Africa. This is about within their own group. Even within Asia, you have the Southeast Asia, the Filipinos, and those Southeast Asia like Japan, South Korea, looking down on the Philippines and Indonesia. Everybody's fighting each other. It's not unique to black folks. That's something we need to understand. It's not unique to us. Other groups just know what comes first. They understand that at the end of the day, you have to put our beef to the side, work together, make money together, keep the money within our community, love each other, or quote unquote, love each other, marry each other. You can never become a powerful group if you're not marrying yourselves. Impossible. Impossible. I saw in the UK that mixed people are a growing majority, thanks to the Caribbean men mainly. They're taken over. You can never become a powerful group if you're not marrying yourself. That's what the Jews do. Every single Jewish guy I know, even if he was fucking all the black girls and Arab girls and white girls and Latino girls when it's time to marry, you best believe she's going to be Jewish. Same with the Indian men. You think all these wealthy Indian men you see, do you think they were not playing around? They're playing around. When it's time to lock up that wealth, because that marriage is a legal thing. That's how you protect your wealth. But what do African men do? As soon as you touch money, what do you do? Foreign. As soon as, especially a place in the UK, where you have a limited amount of black people there, football, sport, entertainment is one of the keys to wealth. You have guys making 50K per week. Most of them, their wives are looking interesting.
Yeah. It's so annoying, especially those francophones. Look at Drogba. Look at the guy that even won Ballon d'Or, the world best player, that silly francophone guy. He married an Arab woman.
Crazy.
The guy that won the world best player this year. He married an Arab woman. So many of them. Look at this guy. Brown, what's his name? This basketballer that they consider the greatest basketball
Jordan.
player of all time.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. He married a snow bunny too. Look at all the billions. Yeah. Imagine he's married to a white woman. So annoying.
Even Kobe
And
Bryant.
these are the role models for so many black kids.
Even Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant. Even Kobe Bryant.
Unfortunately,
when he passed, his entire $450 million estate has now been given to the Latino community. Michael Jackson. Look at the grandkids of Michael Jackson. You would never have known they had a black parent. Look at Diana Ross. Like, you're whitening your lineage. I mean, again,
Even Grace Jones.
yeah, it's happening. Even a lot of these, even a lot of these African guys. You see a lot
even
of them.
Nkrumah. Do you know, my brother? Do you know Nkrumah? So many black people that we consider as heroes, they were sellout. This guy that
Sheikh Diop.
Sheikh Diop, that Egyptologist, he married a white woman, a French woman. Even the first black United Nations Secretary General. I don't know whether you know that guy, that Ghanaian guy that was a Secretary General to the United Nations.
Kofi Annan.
Yeah, he married a white woman too.
Wow.
Yaya Jammeh, former president of Gambia, he married to a white woman. The current president of Guinea, he married a French woman.
Yo, those francophone guys they are terrible at it, bro. They are, almost every francophone president.
Super raccoon.
Yeah, guys. Everybody gets 1 minute. Your boy, it's almost 12 a.m. Let's start my day. Go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes. Thanks for modding for me.
I wanted
really
to
appreciate
say
it,
that everybody is not afraid to hire their own. In this country, most KFCs and post offices and certain McDonald's franchises, everyone in there is Asian. But for some reason, when black people get into power in organizations, we decide to become the bane of the other black people's existence. We enjoy being the only one, and we're not willing to have uncomfortable conversation. You don't want anyone to question your loyalty to your race. We're the only people that are embarrassed to be loyal to our own race. Everyone else is blatantly doing it, but when you do it and you're questioned, in fact, you won't even do it. The idea of you being questioned for doing that makes you shrivel up and become a coward. We need to learn to stand on business. If you're a manager and you're listening to me right now, start hiring more people that looks like you. And when you do have people underneath you, promote them. A lot of the times when promotions are being suppressed, salaries are being suppressed, a lot of these organizations will trot out the black person and you will be willingly doing their dirty work. A lot of you are mentally psychotic. You literally help your enemy to destroy your own. A lot of you, as much as you think you're praying to God and you're a Christian, God hates betrayal. A lot of you, just for being a raccoon, are going to find yourself next to Diddy in hell. Because this level of treachery and betrayal, this God that you say you love, do you not think God doesn't love honor and loyalty? You're just going to close your eyes and you will just hear someone opening a bottle of baby oil and you're going to wonder how you got there. And the reason you got there is because you was a raccoon. Because you think it's noble. Do you think it's noble to eat your own? Do you know, some of you, especially one thing I will say about Nigerians, we love to brag about, oh, my dad is a politician, my uncle was a governor. And anytime I hear an African bragging like that, I look at you and I say, oh, so you're part of the bloodline of a raccoon and a sellout and a traitor. In 2026, I am campaigning to make being a raccoon a dangerous contact sport. You shouldn't be able to say in front of other black people that your families are part of any form of political movement in Africa, unless his name is Ibrahim Traore. You should not be saying that, because all that means is that you are a sellout. And we need to start. One thing I know is I don't know about other African countries, but Nigeria, the moment you say, my dad is a governor or my uncle is a governor, the rest of us will start trying to kiss that person's ass. What you need to be doing is tearing them a dirty slap, so that they can know that this you walking around being related to the governor of or your state or Lagos state, that should come with some repercussions. You should not be able to walk around freely and say you're attached to these people that are destroying our countries, and then the rest of us here, we're even trying to suck up to them to get some sort of status or get some sort of leverage. There needs to be a code of conduct. You know, I don't stand there and let black women say, oh, I don't date these black men. You know, I'm going to go get a Wahite man. And I would say to them, do you know the statistics on the Wahites? Who is the higher amount of unaliver? Who's the most likely to give you a PDF file or a bowl of grapes? Who's the most likely to become a serial? Like, I read the statistics. By the time I'm done with them, they go quiet. In these little instances where there's certain derogatory comments being made, shut it down. I had someone come on my live the other day trying to go on about Asian. I said, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the raccoons and traitors in our community. And I said, do you mean to tell me that you've never stood there while someone in your friend group or whatever situation saying that, no, I don't date these black women, man. And the guy, he ran off my live because he knows full well he's been witness in person to a conversation where someone is sitting there talking negatively about black women and you've not said anything. It starts with the little things. No one should be able to stand there in front of you and say something bad about black men and say something bad about black women. I'm not saying that we're perfect and we haven't got our flaws. No, we do have our issues. But when they're starting to speak about, as much as annoying as black men are, if there's a conversation where they're dehumanizing that man, you should not be privy to that conversation and you should not be involved in that conversation. Shut it down, because everything you say, your ears are a gateway. Every time you're entertaining these conversations, in your subconscious is slowly telling your brain that it's okay to be like this. And if you come and bring that shit round here, I'm going to cuss you out clean. You will not like me in 2026. Stay woke, baby.
All right. So Esther, that's the Wakanda. That's the last point. So you can drop, my dear. Thank you so much for hosting. Good to see you as always. Okay, Wakanda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Almost said. Floor is yours.
Yeah. So
keep it concise. Okay. So.
Yeah. Ultimately, what I just wanted to say is that we should be patriotic. We should try as much as possible to create wealth, and also we should be political conscious. You know, we can't just be lamenting and always be analyzing, the problems. We should also summon the courage to join political parties in our respective countries, so that in order to challenge the status quo. Most of these leaders that we have today, they don't have two heads, okay? So if we ourselves can also summon the courage, take it as a responsibility to join a political party and run for an election. And if you are fortunate, you can win an election, become a governor in your state, or even become a president, and gather your like minds together in order to challenge the status quo and make the black race make black race a force to be reckoned with. Most especially Nigeria. Nigeria is like the engine room of black race, because of our population. So I wish Nigeria could get things right. And if Nigeria can get it right, honestly speaking, other black countries will follow suit. Nigeria is very crucial, to prosperity of the black race. So every Nigerian that is here, if you are a like mind, if you are a patriotic, you are concerned about the plight of the black race, join a political party. We should not leave it in the hands of these fools, because these fools now, they've positioned their children to continue their legacy. And if we don't fight them, if we don't challenge them, our situation is never going to change.
From my part, I would just say the key to this whole thing is, I think, for the very few people or the persons out there who are still to get it, I think you should start to decolonize your mind first from some of these things. Learn to like your own, love your own, because in the grand scheme of things, the other people will not do right by you against theirs, and that's how the world works, right? Vanilla people will not do right by you against theirs, so you should learn to always do right by yourself. And if there's a little way you can start it by decolonizing your mind, you can start by marrying inside. It's a good thing, like Kingsley said, right? Marry inside. Make sure your kids bear your local names. So these are the things that would actually imbibe that thinking and that culture to the future generations, right? Because if you start it now, your kids know why they answer a certain name. They don't need to appease or sound more English to somebody or have a particular unique name that would make the other person be happy with them. No, they are accepting who they are. And if they imbibe that from a younger age, then of course, whatever we are trying to achieve here as a collective for the Black community, then it gets better, right? So I just think we could do our own little bits in these few cases. And in also what I think the earlier person said before, if you hire your people and all that, so that the end goal is you empower your people as a collective. Because if we don't get this power, sorry, we'll keep being subservient to the other races, as sad as it is. And nobody needs to love you in the world because it's a jungle. Everybody is literally looking out for their interest. So take on the initiative to and look out for the interest of your kind. So that's just what I say. That's just what the little thing I have to say, actually.
Fantastic. Ikigai, thank you so much, bro. Hope to see you again, man. We kind of answered your question about are we fundamentally flawed? I think yes. I honestly believe so. I think yes. I think yes, man. I know a lot of people may not like to hear it, but I personally think Black people there's got to be something in our brain that makes us subservient. I genuinely believe that. It is because there's in the past 60 years, there should have been at least there should be at least 2-3 countries that's our Singapore. I mean, the fact that we don't have even one, something is in there, bro. I gotta be honest. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have much to say, but just to point out to where your last statement, and I get where you're coming from with maybe something within us, but I genuinely think part of it is because I don't compared to us with other people of other races, I just don't think we have that innate. I don't want to say evil, but we don't have that innate natural violence in us to do what they're doing, and we don't.
No, we do. We just don't.
You think so?
Yeah, I think we do. We absolutely do. We only save it for Black people. Black people only kill Black people. They don't kill other people. I mean, the amount of violence that Black Americans, for example, experience in America historically, the fact that the KKK is still existing and you have Black gang members, quote unquote, and YNs, and they never even. Do you know that in some Black neighborhoods, a white person can go in there, the Black gangs will do nothing, but they will check a Black person? 4 Black men have been strange-fruited in America as I'm speaking to you. And the FBA, the Black G, all the gangsters, they have done absolutely nothing. So
I agree, and I agree,
only want to fight and kill other Blacks. They don't.
I agree, and I agree, and that's part of my frustration. I mean, I've lived in the U.S. 20 years now, so I grew up here. So that's part of my frustration with the Black community, especially Black men, because it's like, okay, you guys have all this energy for Black women, but you guys are literally, unfortunately, there's Black men being found in trees, and you guys aren't even going outside to protest and to take action against it. Though that's part of like my frustration. But overall, I do. With despite what we're going through, I do feel like Africa is going to rise eventually. I do think we are going to rise eventually. I do think we may not live to see it, but I do feel like we do have that natural strength in us eventually. Because let's be honest, they wouldn't be doing everything that they're doing if they didn't feel threatened by us. We are expected to grow within, like, I don't know the specific number, 8 years, and he's working in, I think, a few African countries that allowed him to do that. So the fact that they feel so threatened by Africa continue to grow, that they want to.
Okay, so I feel like you are a little bit too idealistic, and I'm sorry, I don't share that idealism. I'm a realist. I look at things as they are. I am not that optimistic about Africa because it's been 60 years post-colonization. We are still having the same shit, and the world as a whole is getting more and more overt with resources. Nobody's threatened by us. Let me bust that bubble with you guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna bust your bubble, guys. Hey, trust me. And this is to Black men. This is not even to you, Jihan. Because a lot of Black men, we have the ego. We are the weakest men in the world, but we have the biggest ego. We have this perception that people are threatened by us. Nobody's threatened by us. The fuck? Why would they be threatened by us? Black men have military? Black men have economic? Why would they be threatened by us? There's nothing to fear. And that's the issue. that I feel like a lot of black people need to understand. We have given ourselves titles that are not real. Why would they be? What do we have that they are threatened by? The only thing we have is numbers. And when the numbers is not well manifested, it doesn't matter whether you're 100 million, 1 billion, even if it's 20 million that is organized and know how to strategize, they will still dominate you. A lot of African countries, Jihan, I don't know how much you know about Africa, but I know a lot about Africa. That is why in a country like Mauritania, where 80% of the population are black, dark-skinned black Africans, are being dominated by 20% Arabs. The blacks serve them, they bow to them. Slavery kind of still exists in Mauritania. So it's not about threat. They're not threatened by us. They're not. That's all. I wish a lot of Africans would understand. They're not, we are a non-factor. This is the truth, guys. We need to bust this bubble that, oh, the world is... Nobody thinks of us. The fuck? We are a consumer. The only time they think of black people globally is, how do we get this money from them? Can we be for real, guys? We are not military powerful. We depend on other countries for military support. We are not economically buoyant. We depend on other countries for economic support. The natural resources we have, we depend on other countries to refine the things we have and sell it back to us at a higher price. We're a non-factor. We Africans and Caribbeans, we are seen as cattle. Africa is a place you go and dump your waste. Africa is a place you exploit. Africans are a people you exploit. You use them for your labor, to work on your farms, to work on your factories, and you export it. That is how the world sees us, guys. So nobody's threatened by us. If they were threatened by us, why? East Africa is dominated by Indians and Arabs. Some parts of West Africa are dominated by the Lebanese. South Africa is dominated by the whites. Southern Africa is dominated by the whites. There's a place in Namibia. Did you know the chunk of the land in Southern Africa, not South Africa, includes South Africa, the chunk of the land in Southern Africa is not even owned by black Africans. This is South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, So what the fuck are they going to be intimidated by us for when they've proven for centuries that they can dominate us even when they have a small number? This is the kind of audacity that we need to check ourselves on. We are a non-factor. We are slaves. We may not like to hear it.
Well,
No. I'm just telling you the fact. Nobody's intimidated by us.
no, I agree. I agree. So what do you think it's gonna take? What do you think it's gonna take for the black men to finally just put their foot down?
I don't know.
Because I genuinely do agree that it starts and ends with the black man. I genuinely do. Like they're the leaders of the community.
It starts
Right.
with black men, my dear. But the thing is, I don't know. I'm 30 years old. I used to be very optimistic in my 20s. I don't know anymore, G. I truly don't know, because I'm also kind of exhausted. Because this might sound very dark. I think it's too late. I genuinely think, Jihan, and this hurts me to say, but looking at things practically, I think it's too late. And the reason I think it's too late for Africa is because mentally we are so far gone. The average African is so far gone up the butt of religion. They have been programmed from religion to be subservient, and that is tough. It's easy to free somebody from physical chains, but when you are far gone mentally, let me explain how it works. The two dominant religions in Africa is Islam and Christianity. Both religions are foreign. No matter what Africans like to say to them. So, well, it started in Africa. No, it didn't. It was brought to you. The Islam, the symbols of Islam is not black. If you go to any mosque, or if you look at the imagery that is used to perpetuate Islam in Africa, looks like the Arab man in the Middle East. If you look at Christianity, the symbolism that represents Christianity, either Catholic or Protestant, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, it plays a role. So from a very early age till adulthood, the average black African has been told that white is better than you. Because Jesus Christ, who you pray to, who you bow to, the Muslim man, the Muslim black African is being told, when you bow down, you're bowing down to that Arab man. So when that Arab man tells you to jump, guess what you're going to do? You're going to ask how high. That is why you see Africans, black Africans who are religious, they are never loyal to Africa. And that's another layer of issue we need to deal with. I'll take Nigeria. I'm Nigerian, so I can speak confidently on Nigeria. The average Nigerian Christian is not loyal to Nigeria. They're loyal to white. They're loyal to whiteness. That is why you see Nigerians jumping for joy when Trump wanted to come to Nigeria, because they were like, oh, he's white. That is why you see Nigerians who know absolutely nothing about geopolitics, they will automatically side with Israel because the God of Israel, Christianity, Bible. You have Nigerians who don't know what's going on between Palestine and Israel. They don't know. But because of religion, they side with Israel. Whether Israel is right or wrong, they don't give a fuck. I asked my own dad, who is a smart man, by the way. He told me the reason he sides with Israel is because it is written. That's all. It is written. The good book. And I told him, you do realize that this Bible was written over, this Bible you're hyping so much is actually a story about a people that are not black. It's about the story of people in the Middle East. You had Africans crying over Charlie Kirk. There were Christians in Kenya who held a mass for Charlie Kirk. The average Muslim man in Africa, his allegiance is not to Africa. His allegiance is to the Middle East. The average Nigerian Muslim, their allegiance is to Middle East, is to Saudi Arabia. So you have two large groups in Africa whose entire identity, because they're so far up in religion, is not to where they are. So when the Muslim man tells them, Allah, this, Jesus, Allah, speak Arabic. And by the way, the black African Muslim has to change their entire identity in order to fit in to Islam. You have to learn Arabic. You have to learn.
Yeah, that's what happened to Sudan. I'm from Sudan.
You have to change so many things about yourself in order to fit in. So you have to strip yourself of your Africanness in order to fit into Islam. You have to strip your entire identity as a black African in order to fit into Christianity. It's both sides. You have people under Christianity in Africa. Listen to the average Nigerian Christian talk. You will see that this person is a zombie. They will say something like, earth is not my home. Heaven is my home. The fuck does that even mean? What does that tell them? It tells them that you are here. It's okay for you to suffer. It's okay for you to be in poverty because your heaven is good. Your reward is going to be up there in the sky. Meanwhile, the white man who brought this to you is taking over your land. Same thing with the black African Muslims. They don't, in Nigeria, for example, they don't give a damn about development because to them, they think their salvation is when they die and they have 72 virgins or whatever the number is. This is the reality of Africa, my dear. So this is why I think it's too late. Because I just feel like somewhat like me now, if I try to improve Nigeria, they will kill me. They will kill me. Because as much as Nigerians like to talk about, we want a better country. Most Nigerians don't want a better country. They want to benefit from the corruption. This is the truth of Nigeria. that we don't talk about. I'm sorry I'm being long-winded, but I feel like it's important for me to speak about this because a lot of Africans have this, oh, it's going to get better. It won't get better. I'm sorry. It's going to get even worse. We have this falsehood that the world is intimidated by us. We are a non-factor. The world is spinning without us. In fact, I have a theory that there's a growth plan to eliminate us because they want to take off. I mean, we have been on Africa. We haven't developed that shit. They're like, now they even have a case to say, you know what? These guys are not developing this shit. Let's go in there and take it back. Let's enslave them again. It's happening. It's already happening. So both Christianity and Islam has done a number on the mindset of the average black African. The black Christian, the black African Christian is loyal to whiteness and to Europe. The black African Muslim is loyal to the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. So they're not even loyal. A lot of them tend to be anti-black as well. So it's like, it's a mess. It's a mess. People like me are in the minority. I don't know.
I agree. And anyways, yeah, thank you for your yeah, I guess I just try to look at things in general from a positive perspective, but I definitely do see the like, I see your point, and I do need to look things more from from a, like from your perspective as well, because that is reality, no matter whether I like it or not. Yeah, it's a sad situation overall, and I hate that. But yeah, thank you.
I hear you. And it's okay. I appreciate your positivity. Thanks for coming, Jian. And I respect that. It's just I used to be that, but it's like, okay, dude, be realistic. Be realistic. It's sad. I don't know what the future holds. I truly don't know what the future holds. I personally think Africa is gone. We have no. I think Africa is gone. I think Africa, because a lot of black Africans in Africa are too deep in survival mode to see the reality. I mean, how can you think of the future when you're starving, right? How can I ask the average okay, think about it now. All of us on this panel, we can talk about the future and the bigger picture because we're not starving. I spoke to Jihan. She sounds like a, intelligent lady she sounds like she does okay for herself. I don't know what she does, but she has enough food in her stomach to see the bigger picture. That's a privilege. I can sit here and talk for almost 4 hours because I don't have to worry about if I'm going to get a job or if I'm going to get food. I have electricity here. I have food in my kitchen. I'm good. I can think. This is not the luxury of the average black African in Africa. It's not. So when they see you and I trying to talk about, oh my God, bigger picture, they will look at us and laugh. But I cannot blame them. They're hungry. And it's intentional. That's why it goes back to black men. It goes back to African men, African leaders. They intentionally keep their people poor and starving so that they can control them. It's not the West. It's not. It's not the West. It's not the Middle East. It's not China. It's black men. It's African men. Because African men, historically, have been the ones that made it accessible for other groups to come in and manipulate. Dude, the Indian man, he's coming to my home to further the interest of India. No shit. Why is that a shocker to Africans? The West are coming to Africa to further the interest of the West. Duh. How is that a shock? China is coming to Africa for the greater good of China. Why is this and they will do anything that is allowed by the leaders of that land to do. You think all the illegal mining you see happening in Ghana, all the construction, you think African leaders did not sign off on it? You think it's illegal. You think it's illegal because you're a commoner. Some minister, governor somewhere is aware of it. They just don't care. This is the reality of black African countries. They don't care. That's why I think the future is very bleak. I would like, if I have the opportunity, but I know the political system in Nigeria, I will never become president. And you don't even need, I think president of Nigeria is a useless title. The people that can fix Nigeria are the governors. It's the governor, it's not the president. The two groups that need to be held even more accountable in Nigeria are the governor and the local government chairman. Those are the people that manage the people. My outlook for Africa is bleak, bro. It's very bleak. The reason it's bleak is because most black Africans in Africa are in survival mode. They are too busy trying to figure out if they're going to have food tomorrow than to actually see that they are gone. Us Africans that have the privilege to see the bigger picture, when we try to have these conversations with them, they'll look at us like we're weird. But then again, you can't blame them. They are hungry. We are not. There's a difference. It's bleak. And nobody's threatened by us. We need to stop that. Though they're scared of or they're scared of the power of the black man. Man, shut the fuck up, please. I hear black American men say this all the time. I'm like, shut up. They are so scared of you that they enslaved you for so long. They're so scared of you that they were able to put you in Jim Crow. If you're so powerful, why are you them? If you're so powerful and you talk so big, why are you always the one at the receiving end of oppression? Stop. Because the way you talk doesn't match your reality. That's why when I made that video, I said the ego of the black man needs to be studied. It absolutely needs to be studied. The ego of black, I feel like I have a theory. I think black men have such high egos as a coping mechanism. I think so. I think black men have such high egos. It's like a trauma response, maybe, but I know for sure it's a coping mechanism. Because when you lie to yourself, you live in a warped reality. Because there's a lot of black men that have this, there's a lot of black men in the West that think that they run the world. I swear to God, you would be amazed. The number of it's crazy. It's like psychosis, bro. I swear to God, Majin. I swear to God, Majin Boo. If you hear, imagine if you hear the way some black men in the West talk in UK, especially in America, especially America, if you hear the way some black Americans, especially like the FBA, if you hear the way these guys talk, you would think, man, these guys are running America, bro. Like, you would think they run the police, they run the military, they run the business. They don't run that shit. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Jihan. So I think that's why sometimes it's difficult as a black man who sees the bigger picture to have conversations with other black men, because it ties back to this prompt. A lot of people don't like to hear it. Black men only value sex. Black men as a collective only value sex and foreign women. Because a lot of black men, not the guys on my panel, because those guys are smart, but you will know I'm not lying. A lot of black men in Africa, that's why we have all these kids running around. And that's why you see a lot of black men in Africa, they will rather talk about polygamy and feminism and submission. Why? Sex. Women. Fucking. That's what the average black African man cares about. If you go and see black African men, this man could be poor. This man could be unemployed for years. This man could have nothing going for him. But 3 things that man is going to die on: access to women to have sex with, having multiple women, and the women submitting to him. These 3 things, if you can give a black African man this, you can have his resources. Maybe you give him some chicken change too. He don't care. Black men only value sex. You think other groups don't know that? Why do you think all these African presidents have white wives? Why do you think? What do you think the job of that white woman there is? What do you think that white woman president's wife is there to do? To be lovey-dovey or to keep him in check? They know! Other groups have figured us out. Why do you think all these white women that all of a sudden start loving black men? They love black men when that black man has money. Because they know that as soon as that black man has money, his eyes start looking for foreign yash. There's a lot of black men who think that if you have a non-black woman on your arm, it's a flex. There's enough. You see, a lot of groups have figured black men out. They figured us out. They know this. If I know this, you think other groups don't know? You think Indians don't know? You think white people don't know? You think Arabs? These people, they study us. They know. They know. They know so well that they actually wrote a book. Do you guys remember that book, How to Sell to a Black Man or something like that? Let me see. How to Sell to a Negro or something like that. The Secret of Selling. Have you guys seen it? The other groups know how to get us, that they even wrote a fucking book. Did you know that? There is a literal playbook. The Secret of Selling to the Negro in 1954. They figured us out, man. So this is since 1954, folks. You see, The Secret of Selling to the Negro, 1954. So it's not today. It's not in 2025. They figured us out since they know what we want as black men. It's not new. We've always been bums. We've always been chasing foreign yash. We've always been chasing flashy shit. Let me put it this way. The Secret of Selling the Negro is a 1954 film financed by Johnson Publishing Company. You want to guess who owns Johnson Publishing Company?
Lives pretty much the same as other folks. He buys pretty much the same way, too. But just the same, a lot of old doubts and opinions keep cropping up over and over again.
Oh, I don't like to do business with Negroes. They're drifters. You can't keep track of them.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home. That figure comes directly from the United States Bureau of Census. See, the nation's capital, some amazing facts and figures about this new market have been uncovered. For a first-hand report, we would like to take you directly to the United States, where there are more stores.
You guys can do your own research. You're failures, bruh. I'm sorry. We have to remove these rose-colored glasses. I feel like it's time for us to remove these rose-colored glasses and see ourselves for who we are. We're bums. We're behind. A lot of black men think having a foreign woman on their arm is a flex. That is why you see black men who create platforms to demonize black women, calling her Keisha, calling her all sort of names, while uplifting another man's woman. You know how weird you gotta be as a man to put down your own women and uplift another man's seed? That's fucking weird. Because if you are going to uplift another man's woman, you are indirectly saying that man does a better job than you. That's what you're saying. I don't know what to say to you, man. I don't know what to say to you. I've never understood that. Exactly, Gian. That's what you're saying as a black man. If you're going to build your platform and all you do is directly and indirectly insult your women and talk about, you say, oh, that's why I prefer Latino women, man. That's why I prefer white women. That's why I prefer Arab. Oh, God, they're more submissive. So in other words, you're complimenting their men. You're saying their men do a better job. But then again, it goes back to black men. Because if other groups of women can be feminine, according to this Ben's talking point, why are those women feminine? Those women can be feminine because the men of their community and their culture have created an environment where their women can be feminine. Those women, their men usually have been able to create countries. Their men have been able to take some type of political and economic power. If you're going to uplift white women, well, no shit, buddy. Her men run America, motherfucker. What do you think? Of course, white women are going to be quote-unquote feminine and submissive. I don't think white men are submissive. But of course, she has the right. White women are the most protected group in the world since time immemorial. In America especially, what oppression do white women have to deal with? Hey, Cristobal. In America, white women in America are the most privileged group in America since beginning. Followed by white men. A lot of the welfare programs you have in America was created for white women. It wasn't created for black women. Because her men run shit. Her men, when the average white woman wakes up in America, she looks at the dollar, she sees her men. She opens the media, she sees her men. She looks at the most powerful men in history, she sees her men. She looks at the military, she sees her men. She looks at the richest men in America, she sees her men. She looks at the police, she sees her men. Her men created America. I'm sorry to say, I know some black Americans might get a bit pissy on this. The America we know today, buddy, like it's America today because of the influence of white folks. America is the largest GDP in the world because of the brutality of white men taking over other people's country. I'm sorry to say. America is the dominant force today because of white men, because of the brutality and the doggedness of white American men. It is the fact, whether you like to hear it or not. You think America would be the largest economy in the world if black Americans were running it? Let's be for real. You don't have the tenacity. You don't have the violence. All the wars that we are dealing with today, America is involved because of white men. You think black Americans have the balls to drop atomic bombs on Japan? All the chaos we have in Africa today, America is involved. That's why you are America. That's why you're the boss. You've planted your spy. I'm sorry to say, I know some FBA people might get their egos bruised, but it's the truth. America today is America because of white men. And you benefit from it too. And you benefit today. You benefit from it too. America is the largest economy in the world. America is one of the best countries in the world for business. It's the largest economy because of white men. So of course white women are going to be chill. It's good for them. Arab men that some of these black men like to put on a pedestal, you put Arab women on a pedestal, submissive. Oh no shit. The Arab woman is submissive to the Arab man because the Arab man has proven his ability to build. Arab Americans are some of the wealthiest group in America. They run the stores, they own some gas stations. The Arab man from the Arab world has proven his ability to build countries. Some of the most powerful men in the world are Arab. The crown prince of Saudi Arabia, their religion, the Arab man created one of the most powerful religions in the world. So no shit, of course she's gonna be proud of her men. Islam. You as a black man, you convert to Islam. Why the fuck would they be submissive to you when you submit to their own men? You go through rituals to submit to their own religion that the Arab man created. That is the ultimate submission, bro. I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm sorry. That is the ultimate cock. In my opinion, you're the Jesus Christ. That's the way I see it. You strip your identity and take upon the Arabic name that the Arab man created. And you want to be on the same level as the Arab man. Are you mad? Are you crazy? That doesn't fly. Even within black people, we don't let that shit fly. Why would the Arab man want you to be on the same level as him when you had to convert to his religion? Does that make sense? You've changed your name to Ibrahim, Ibrahim, Allah, ta. You've changed your name to cosplay as an Arab man in the Middle East. And you want the same respect as somebody that you're trying to cosplay as? Are you daft in the head? You changed your name. You had to adapt his style. You have to pray 5 times per day. You have to travel to his home. for Hajj. You do. Of course you're going to bow to him. The fuck? It makes no sense. So when you praise the Arab, when you praise and say, oh, unlike black women, Arab women are feminine. No shit. She's feminine because her men have proven their ability to build. You praise Latino women, because that's one thing a lot of black men love to do. You love to compare Latino women and black women. When a Latino woman is angry, you call it spicy, you call it cute. When the black woman is angry, you call it the angry black woman. Why is there no angry Latino woman stereotype? A lot of you black men encourage that. You push it. When Latino women are angry, it's cute, it's sexy, it's feisty, it's nice, it's seen in a positive light. When a black woman does it, it's wrong, it's bad, it's masculine. And you encourage that. A lot of black men join this conversation of calling black women masculine. That is fucked up. Have you considered why she might be masculine? Why wouldn't she be masculine? At least in America, Latino men are synonymous to keeping the economy running. What about you? We see what's happening in America right now. The agriculture industry is struggling because Latino men are not there. Construction. Trade. Mexico. Illegal and not and legal. It's all there. Just look at the effect for businesses when Latino people were getting deported. That should tell you the power as a collective they have to the labor. Meanwhile, as a black American, you're there making fun of black American women and black women in general, talking down on them. You're a non-factor in America as a black man. You're a non-factor. I'm sorry to tell you that. What you could do is to respect your women and build power. Have a good day.